I want my boyfriend to get back with his ex-wife.
That makes no sense to me. Okay.
I, 27 female, met my boyfriend's 35 male ex-wife, 29 female, and I want them to get back together. Explain. I have been with my boyfriend for nearly a year now. Let's call him Danny, and he never talks or nearly touches a topic of his ex-wife, Myrrh. This comes from Fast Flatworm 2188, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Now, the only thing I know about them is that they have a 5-year-old son whom he visits or brings to his home every weekend. That's the only thing you know, and they have a child together? That's your, like, stepchild, kind of?
I'm still speechless on, like, the opening.
We're so lost.
I need more answers. Content.
His son graduated from daycare recently, and Myrrh invited us for dinner as per their child's request. Danny asked me to come, and although I hesitated at first, he insisted on bringing me. Saturday came, and we went to Myrrh's house for dinner. I expected her to be a witch to me, but she welcomed us warmly. She's casual, very polite, and even introduced me to their child. Her house is very welcoming, clean, and smells flagrant.
What is that?
I meant to say fragrant.
What did you say?
I said flagrant.
I was going to say, it smells like Japanese cherry blossom up in here.
It's a scent. That's a scent, my brother.
Did you guys not know? Well, maybe you did. I worked at Bath and Body Works for like a little bit.
Do you know the scents?
Oh, I do.
Brother, link me with the scents.
We'll get into that later.
We'll get to that later.
I know the secrets.
It's a home. I asked her if I could do something to help her prepare the dinner while their child and Danny were playing. She told me that she could manage and told me to go ahead and go bond with the boys. We had dinner, and she and Danny were very casual. Not too friendly, but not too cold. They're not too distant either. Myrrh didn't say anything that would make me uncomfortable, but rather ask questions about me and anything you could talk about during a first meeting. I know she's a good mother, as their son, Ian, is very polite, giggly, and well-behaved. I notice how both of them would answer every question Ian asked, even if it's a silly question. I also noticed how Danny looked at Myrrh. There's sadness and love. I know this as he never looks at me this way.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Keon, I think we're fortunately or unfortunately beginning to get some of the context we were begging for earlier.
More.
Well, when we were about to go home, Myrrh packed me some food. When I mentioned I live alone and always eat takeaway, to-go food, this really touched my heart. I've been keeping it inside me, but I could no longer keep it in and asked Danny how things ended when he had such a beautiful wife and a playful, well-mannered son.
What happened?
Danny pulled over, and I thought he'd want me out of the car, but he started to tell me that he cheated on her while she was out of the country burying her deceased mother.
Oh, that's more context. That's kind of, wow. What a guy.
Keon, I had to get long.
Ooh, I like it when you get long, John Silver.
Because this is shocking information.
I'm shocked. Consider me shocked.
We're scrunching back in here.
Yeah. Morph back into it.
Wow. Here we go. The girl he slept with happened to be a mutual friend and secretly filmed them having spicy sleep and sent it to Myrrh.
Wait, huh?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes. You
I
heard
that
right.
correct.
You heard that correctly. The friend of Myrrh filmed them doing the deed and then sent it to her.
Go on.
Wow.
Go on.
When Myrrh came home, she calmly told Danny she knew about it and slept in Ian's room. He didn't hear a word from her, a single cuss or anything hurtful. She just flatly said, serve the divorce papers and I'll sign them. Just make sure I have sole custody and you have visitation days. Get some bread, girl. That's what I like to call emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Shout out to the friend.
Bro, what were they like? What were they thinking?
I'm being a good friend. I'm just filming it for you, so I'm giving you evidence that he would do it.
I told you. I tested him. I tested him for you.
He
I
passed
tested
the
him for you.
test. Divorce him.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Danny told me how he tried to stop her, but she didn't say a single word and completely shut him down. Incorrect. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. The night before he left the house, he heard Myrrh crying and wanted to comfort her, but he was afraid he'd make things worse for her. Danny hated himself that he never had the chance to comfort her while she grieved for her mom and instead cheated on her. Correct. And also, again, no wonder OP never knew the reason or anything about Myrrh, because this happened and
You should have told her that.
No, that's too easy, John.
it's too easy.
He wanted to start off with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Come on.
I want my new partner to not know about the horrible things I did in my earlier relationship, because maybe then they'll know about the earlier things I did in my earlier relationship.
They won't stay with me if I say that to them.
Maybe because
That's
they
a
shouldn't.
giant red flag, John. We don't want any red flags on our resume.
This is me waving my pretend red flag, but it's a denim tassel. Use your imagination. Well, he said Myrrh is too good to be true, but that's who she really is. Always available for her family and friends, and even for his family and friends. She'd cook for his friends while they watch football and drink adult soda together. She visits his mom and dad and bakes cookies for them. She babysits his nephews, and she never once complained about taking care of Ian. Myrrh is literally an angel sent
Saint.
from heaven.
She's a saint. And he messed this all up? Boo this man.
Boo. The question is, and we're just gonna pull straight out of the gate. Let's just freaking do it. Divorce or not? Should OP divorce Danny just right now?
Poll.
Should she just do it?
I would, no, not this instant right now, just to see like what he's telling you everything that's going on and like, why didn't you tell me? Then see like, because this was a terrible thing to do, and it seems like OP loves him.
Yep.
Yeah, like maybe he changed, but who knows? But get the reasoning, and I also want to see the reasoning of what, again, the title is of why OP wants him to get back with Myrrh.
When's that gonna drop? We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Keon,
Yeah.
but chat might disagree. Put your votes in now. She never nags at Danny and is very patient about everything. This was the first time I saw him cry. He's a big man and he's sobbing uncontrollably. He's apologizing to me and told me he likes me and didn't use me to move on. This whole reservation didn't make me think that I was being used. I felt his pain and I felt his love for his family. I asked him why he cheated, and he said he was wasted and didn't even know it happened. Okay, was it SA? Because that should be...
Yes, this flips the story a little bit if it
Yes.
was, because again, did he know about the friend? Like maybe the friend came on to him. Again,
Yes.
I'm not defending anybody.
Of course. But if she actually...
did that and
Did
then
that.
also filmed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's worse than SA. That's the worst it can be.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, after that night, he's still the same, but I am not. I feel like I'm in the way. Myrrh is still single. She mentioned that she wanted to focus on raising Ian and pursuing her law studies. I love Danny, but I could not compete with Myrrh. Should I break up with him and help him get back together with Myrrh? We have an update, but we have to talk about that crazy sentence
Whoa.
that just happened.
Whoa. What?
Brother, talk to me.
I'm baffled. This is very weird to handle because OP's comparing herself to Myrrh.
Yeah.
Again, Myrrh is great, but you yourself are great too, OP. It seems like that ship has sailed. Jumping to like get back to, to your ex-wife and your son and have a happy family because she's so perfect. I don't know. Breaking up with Danny, that seems reasonable.
Yep.
But I don't know. You don't want to force something that was already split apart.
Yeah.
So what would you do?
I mean, my brain would definitely not jump to, oh, should I break up and help them get back together?
Yeah, that's very weird.
I would imagine Danny broke up with him for a reason, and that is he cheated on her while she was visiting her mom's funeral. So maybe she still doesn't want to get back together with him, which would be the most reasonable thing on planet Earth.
Yeah, you can't also just assume like, oh, they're a perfect couple. They look so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like, yes, it looks like Myrrh has the support from OP's boyfriend in this scenario right now. I don't think they need to get back together. Maybe you break away from him and maybe you can be cordial and help her out, but maybe find a date. But I don't think this is a very weird situation.
Yeah. If anything, just break up. Don't do anything to try to get them back together, because guess what? If they want to get back together, it'll just happen. Like,
Yeah, you can't force it.
yeah, don't.
But also don't put yourself down like that too. I don't like how OP is
Yes.
like, I can't compare to Mur. Mur is like eons better than me. I'm like, no, don't do that. Mur is great, but you are great as well, OP.
You deserve love too. You deserve partnership too. Maybe not with this freaking Danny guy.
Danny's not great. Both of you, but work on that.
Yes. But we have an update, brothers. Let's dive right in. I shared the information I knew and decided to meet with Mur and ask her for her side of the story. I also told her beforehand what the meeting was all about so as not to shock her or yawn at her or make her uncomfortable on the spot. She agreed to it and we met at her house. Danny knows nothing about it. I told her why I was curious about it and what Danny told me. Everything. Mur looked sad, but she told me that as much as she wants a complete family for Ian, she could no longer see herself being with Danny. Yo, I think she asked Danny if she wants to get back together with him.
OP?
OP.
Ooh.
Because Danny responds like, I would love to have a complete family, but she doesn't want to be with him.
Maybe not. Maybe she's like, where do you stand with like Danny and like for Ian and your family, Mur? How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like, I tried to see that dynamic one more time, see how perfect it was, but he dropped the mug. It's broken. It's all cracked. So you don't. Yeah, like he's a great guy. He cheated on me. He's the father of my child, but yeesh.
You can't super glue back cheating while at my mom's funeral. You
Boom.
can't super glue that back. The best they can do for Ian is the parenting setup that they have now, which is working for all of them. She said that when her mom passed away, Danny wanted to come, but he needed a visa and it would take time. The funeral was all scheduled and the processing of Danny's visa would delay her from seeing her mom one last time. She then told me that before she went home, she confronted the woman first and she told her that they were both wasted and she didn't know she was filming, but it's kind of odd since the camera was positioned in a way that everything could be seen and was steady. Yeah, I'm not buying it. She didn't press her further, but she did hit her. I won't go into the details of the altercation. I mean, listen, we never advocate for violence on the show, but man, if there is ever a time where we'd consider giving you a pass, the woman who cheated on your husband while we're at your mom's funeral and then sent it to you would be the most eligible candidate, dare I say.
Yeah.
Dare I say.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I was wasted and like it's a lot of BS. I don't know. The story ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing there.
The math ain't mathing. Danny did try to win her back and explained it to her over and over again, but all she could think of was the sight of him in bed, all undressed with another woman while she's grieving and forcing herself to be sane for Ian. Yep, that's right, Riley. It's shocking. She showed me the video and it only lasted 37 seconds.
Oh God, only 37 seconds? Not 3 hours? Like this compilation video with terrible X stories just like this one? Go watch that after you finish this one.
Talk about a one-pump chump, am I right?
Wow.
Riley's writing something. Riley is currently furiously scribbling something on a piece of paper to have us witness.
37 seconds is long.
30.
What is it? I can't read that.
9 seconds longer than me, Riley says. 9 seconds longer than me.
See?
Oh, 7 seconds. 7 seconds longer than me. There you go.
No comment.
37 seconds longer than me. There you go. Anywho, their friend was on top of Danny, moving, and you could hear moans and rumbling. Amazing details. It never occurred to her that he was essayed since first, he never mentioned his friends would come over while she's out of the country, and second, Danny didn't even point it out to her. All he said was he was wasted and didn't even know it happened until Mur showed him the video. If Danny was SA'd and he really felt like he was, Mur is willing to help him in any way she can, but the situation between their family will stay as is. So I think from that, tell me, Keon, if you're hearing what I'm hearing, it seems like from all they can gather and from what Danny's sharing about the situation, he wasn't SA'd. But it was like I guess a wasted mistake. But
it's
still
like,
could be though.
It still could be.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, I feel like the situation happened and it just like exploded, and then no one really wanted like to go into more detail about it. They're like, this is I've seen it. This has happened, and I'm done.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's just like again, Murr's thought process is I can't stop thinking about what had happened, and it's just
Yep.
icky.
Yep. She has just lately found out that Danny cut all of his friends completely when their divorce was finalized, but she didn't ask why and also tried not to engage with them as much as possible. Now we both think it has something to do with what happened that night, and there's more to it than what Danny told us. She said she's moved on, and maybe Danny too, that they just wanted to be there completely for Ian while he's growing up. There's no sense for them to go back to that time and try to change the outcome of their decisions when everything turned out fine. She told me that Danny introducing me to her and Ian just means he loves me and is really moving forward and doesn't mean something else. Just to let you guys know, he said he really likes her. Rini says, no, John. He said he had no idea it happened. That means he wasn't sober enough to consent. Let's not minimize male essay. Absolutely. Sorry, Rini. In the collection of facts and everything, I did not fully remember that specific detail. Absolutely. If he was too wasted to even remember that it happened, that 1000% is not just SA, a level above it, if you know what I'm talking about.
Not good.
Not freaking good, to say it, to say the freaking least.
Yeah.
She said that their relationship was far from perfect, but they managed to get as far as bringing Ian into this world because they worked things out the best they could. They sure had problems financially, emotionally, or as petty as Dan not putting his socks in laundry baskets or her not getting ready on time, but Danny cheating was something she didn't see coming.
You didn't see that coming?
She didn't know how to react or confront the situation aside from ending it right then and there. She asked me if she could talk to Danny in private because Danny might still be thinking she hates him and is still living with the guilt of hurting her in the worst way possible. Maybe all they need is good closure, complete forgiveness. She assured me that Danny is a good man and what happened to their relationship should not define Danny for who he is, and it was a phase in their lives that should be left in the past where it really belongs. She said that it was her own choice to stay single to focus on raising Ian and doesn't mean she's still stuck with her feelings for Danny like what most people perceive it. I asked her if it's a good idea to suggest therapy to Danny. Yes. And she told me she'll give anything she can to help Danny if Danny agrees to it, and also told me not to force the idea if Danny said no the first time I asked. We both concluded that Danny is bottling something inside him that none of us knew. Regarding their mutual friend, she jokingly said that the B got away with unaliving, referring to what she did to them. She said that the last news she had of her was that the mutual friend was no longer in town and she couldn't care less about her whereabouts. Yeah, I think we need to give Danny some support here as well, because from now what we understand, piecing it together, this happened to Danny. Did not consent to this.
Yeah,
Danny did not consent to this. It was wrong of me to think that they should be back together, not considering Mur's pain and things she needed to heal. I apologized to her for making her relive this painful memory, but she told me that's a small price to pay if it means someone else's peace of mind. By the way, you can listen to full episodes if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, search OK Storytime. We've got our full catalog of episodes just like this you can listen to. We are about to reach the end of this story.
This is the end.
But Keon, do you have any last words before we get into the final piece here? I mean,
just clarity. This is a lot of clarification of who Mur is. Mur is a really, again, we've said it time and time again, Mur is a saint.
Yes.
She's pretty much told OP that, yeah, we've met you and we care for Danny and he really loves you. We're really meeting you and we want what's best for everyone. So the idea of having a relationship between Mur and Danny as parents, great, but them back together, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it seems very civil and very mature.
Yes. Mur is very mature. That's why it rhymes.
Yeah. Yes.
And
I agree. I think everyone needs to check in on Danny and be like, hey, we heard what has happened. It seems like obviously you don't want to talk about it because it's something that's very traumatic that happened. Maybe some therapy, maybe again, something's eating at you that isn't going so well in your head, especially him thinking that he's guilty with Mur.
Yes.
I think they also need to talk that out and be like, hey,
I agree.
what's in the past is in the past. I care for you. I want what's best for you.
I agree. I think them coming together
Yeah.
and acknowledging what happened to Danny, for Danny to acknowledge what happened to him, for Mur to basically know, like, hey, I am acknowledging this, I think is important. I totally agree. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the last part of the story here. So you might be weirded out by my decision to stay with Danny, but Mur is right. What's happened to them was painful, but there's nothing I or they can do about it now, and Danny is working on himself. I never once doubted his sincerity with me. If all else fails, then the joke's on me. But I love the guy enough to try to give our relationship a try. I will try to talk to him and help him heal too. I agree that I should not compare myself to her. She's indeed an amazing woman we all aspire to be, and deserves the best life has to offer for her and Ian. P.S. to the people who said that Mur could have set all this up. She said, why would she ruin her son's chances to have a complete family for an easy way out? That is an insane thing, and I don't know why anyone
Who would say
comment.
that?
Who
That's
would?
interesting.
People on Reddit would say that.
Yeah.
The people on Reddit, who are the people on Reddit that say that, would say that. My goodness. But that is the end of the story. However, that is not the last story in this episode.
No, it is not.
So I'm going to hand the chalice to my good friend and beautiful, sexy man,
Who are you talking to? You look in the mirror?
Keon.
You're looking in the mirror.
Keon.
You're talking about yourself.
It's Kiki.
All ready to rumble?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's crazy.
Let's do it.
I want to dump my boyfriend because he won't let me sleep.
Bro, she needs her beauty suite, man.
I moved into my boyfriend's house. He owns it 3 weeks ago, and it's been really difficult. We've been fighting constantly, mostly because he doesn't let me sleep.
What is he doing?
This would piss me off. I work 9 to 5, so I need to wake up around 8 a.m. He works whenever he wants and doesn't have a set sleep schedule. I used to go to bed between 11 to 11:30 p.m. before living with him. I compromised and pushed it to 12 to 12:30 a.m., but there are nights when he doesn't go to bed until 4, 5, 6, or even 7 a.m.
Sounds like my roommate.
This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare.
That's Alex's sleep schedule. He's like separate, so I'm
John
not,
was making dinner at midnight, and I was trying to sleep, and I could not fall asleep, and I was going a little crazy. And that lasted for 30 minutes. It wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
I could not handle this. By the way, this comes from Pretty Step 5094, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, the house has a master bedroom and a guest bedroom. I was initially sleeping in the master, but he would constantly go in and out, disrupting me. When I yelled at him about it, he'd say, "Give me 10 minutes and I'll be in bed." Hours would pass with him still awake, making noise in the kitchen or living room. He told me I could go to sleep without him, but she can't fall asleep.
I'm guessing you're also a light sleeper.
I am a
OP.
light sleeper.
Same.
I'm a light sleeper, and I think Riley and I are affected in different ways because Sam wakes you up in the morning. Sam's so loud. He's so loud, and he doesn't realize it.
He's gonna realize it whenever he's in New York. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God, they're gonna
probably
be
will.
so annoyed because it's just so small.
Yeah, everyone in wherever he lives is
Yeah,
gonna,
hopefully they're early risers because he's an early riser. Yeah, and so now
Rise
I'm
and
having
grind.
the opposite thing of like he's a night owl.
I don't mind that.
See, that's my problem. I don't mind the early rising, but the night owl stuff is hard for me. He claims he needs to access the master bedroom because that's where all his things are. I tried sleeping in the guest room, which doesn't have a lock. But instead of just using the master bedroom, he'd come into the guest room and disrupted my sleep there too. Why?
I know why.
What?
Okay, thank you. I was wanting you to say why, so then you couldn't say, "Well, no one asked you."
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
I didn't.
You know how you got those like dogs that look over the sheep,
Yeah.
and they're always making
Little cattle
sure.
dogs, yeah.
Yeah. That's what he is. He just wants to make sure you're good. He wants to make sure you're sleeping good, protected, checking on you.
He's standing in the doorway.
Yeah. During the workday when I'm not around, you guys, whenever you work, I'm always like making sure, like checking on you.
Yeah, we
Everything's
know.
good.
Then you start donating. I've only been getting 5 to 6.5 hours of sleep for weeks now. And I'm completely exhausted. I feel broken. Honestly, I would move out. You might be able to continue the relationship, but you need to move out. If you think OP should leave so she can have some good sleep, tap that like button. My breaking point. Yesterday evening, I told him I had a doctor's appointment at 8 a.m. before work, so I needed to be up by 6:30 a.m. I got ready for bed at 10 p.m. in the guest room, planning to sleep by 11. I put a note on the door saying I have to be up early. Please be considerate. I fell asleep around 11:30 p.m. with my eye mask on, fan for white noise, and a sleep podcast playing. Oh my God, I know this. This girl is me.
Could not.
This girl is me. And you know, like I know for a fact that she wouldn't be doing this if she didn't live with this guy.
I couldn't.
You couldn't what, Riley? You couldn't listen to all that stuff?
No, I couldn't.
You fall asleep with Rick and Morty
Yeah, you
on.
literally fall asleep. You told me the one time that we had to sleep in the same room, you told me that you needed the rain noises.
At the time, I did.
And you've grown from that?
Recently, we have not had the TV on, and you would turn on Rick and Morty so that you can fall asleep.
Crazy.
But now I have white noise automatically
From the outside of
from
your
the
house.
street, from the busy
It is
road.
pretty loud. Yeah.
Can't have the window open. Also, the windows are plastic, so they're not even glass.
Dude.
What?
They're coming off of the thing. So.
What? Dude,
Sad.
what?
That's sad.
Sad?
Sophia's like, don't you really miss your
Don't
old
you
place
really
now?
miss your old place?
Not really.
Riley's like,
nice.
everything's the worst and it's still better. He came in 3 times while I was sleeping and woke me up each time. He was
Wait.
wasted.
Wait, yeah.
Turned on the light and pulled up my eye mask. What? This is me. He goes, pop, right in the nose. I begged him every time to let me sleep because I had to wake up early. Come on, I'm breaking up with him right now. Then he started making noise in the hallway saying he was having 8 spicy dancers over and making inappropriate sounds. I told him, I'm leaving. I just want to sleep. Why won't you let me sleep? And this girl is, I know she's, it says, I was on my hands and knees on the floor crying. I knew she was crying before she even said that. And he said, I'm sorry. I was just playing. I'm a knucklehead. I don't care. You're a single knucklehead. This enrages me.
Why are you just getting your rocks off, not letting your girlfriend sleep, man?
I
Also,
literally hate him.
Girlfriend?
Leave him.
Oh, I was going to say physical violence might be the answer.
Okay, well, I don't promote physical violence.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Bow! Straight in the nose.
You have had physical violence.
What?
Yeah, there was one time someone was in the room and I said something and I got a little pat on the arm. That happened a while ago. I'll explain it to you later. But,
Okay, I don't know what
But
you're talking about.
I think in this scenario, physical violence is permitted.
I don't promote physical violence. I think that you need to break up with your boyfriend.
Well,
I promote breaking up with your boyfriend who sucks. Because
I think he just finds it funny that you get to game. It's like an untrained dog. It's a game to him.
you don't understand how deeply I resonate with this story. Just because I need sleep and I get so angry if I don't have sleep. And if someone ever did this to me, I'd hate them for my entire life.
If I did this to you, you would definitely hit me.
Yeah. But you're not my boyfriend. So it's a little I don't promote hitting your partners.
Well, I'm assuming they have
Just
a
your
close...
Riley's.
Yeah, just people
No,
that are
I would
kind of
never
like your
hit
brothers.
Riley. Unless it was
What? You have though. Wait, what? I would never hit him.
No.
She has.
No, but that's different. That's different. That's when we're like play hitting each other.
It's all right, Sophia. Go ahead. you can do it.
Wait, no.
It's now 1 a.m. I told him I needed to get some sleep and planned to sleep in my car. As I left, he called me saying he was sorry and in bed and asking me to come back. When I returned, he wasn't in bed. He was in the basement doing laundry. I tried to sleep again, but he came in and started cuddling me and telling me he loved me and apologized. If you love me, leave me alone. I asked him to come to my appointment with me and he agreed. When I went to the bathroom, he followed me there and stayed for 10 minutes claiming he was taking NyQuil. I completely lost it. I went into the bedroom and swept everything off the dresser onto the floor, then knocked over the nightstand lamps, breaking one. He pushed me onto the bed and started frantically looking for a necklace he claimed he couldn't find. What? I was scared, so I helped him look for it. He pushed you onto the bed? Huh? It was past 2 a.m. when we finally went to sleep in the guest room. What just happened? I literally don't understand what just happened.
She's going crazy. He's going crazy. This is what happens when no sleep involved.
Literally, he took my side of the bed. So I moved to the master bedroom until my alarm went off. The morning after, when I woke him up the next morning, he noticed his dental veneer was missing and accused me of taking it.
This guy is on some substances, I
I don't
believe.
think this man is sane.
not saying or he's not sleeping.
I think he cats the ox says she's having a mental breakdown. I think that OP is so sleep deprived that she's hallucinating everything about this man.
Move out.
I said I didn't, and I offered to help him find it, but I had to leave for my appointment. He decided to stay and look for it, even though he said he would come with you. On my way to the appointment, he texted me, "You don't care about me. Get out and leave me alone. You're one of the most selfish individuals I've ever met." I didn't respond. Then he called saying he found the veneer. I'm throwing that in the trash. I'm throwing it in the trash.
What is the story?
I went to my appointment, came home, and worked from 9 to 5:30 p.m. while he slept. What does he do? Genuinely, what does he do?
You might do animations for different people and music videos.
Just as your roommate?
Yeah, probably.
This is, Riley is OP. I'm getting a hotel tonight and looked into moving out this weekend. I feel horrible about throwing his things on the floor, but I can't handle this constant sleep deprivation anymore. And there is an update, folks.
Oh my gosh, she definitely moved out.
I would hope so. I would freaking hope so. He sucks. I literally have, my only advice is break up with him if you haven't already.
What compels a person to do this to another person?
I don't know, especially your partner.
Yeah.
Just like your partner says, "Hey, I need sleep," and then you actively, like, it's not even like, it's a step beyond inconsiderate, which is the crazy thing to me. Because it's not just, I was loud and he kept waking me up. It's, I took off your sleep mask and poked, like, hey, let's hang out.
Yeah. When Angie hangs out with me, she sleeps a lot, but it's like, oh, she had a busy week. She needs to sleep.
Busy week.
Just kind of relax.
Yeah.
I do want to hang out with her, but
She's asleep.
she needs sleep.
She's a sleepy girl.
See, and that's why Riley's a good boyfriend, because he lets me sleep. Lets me sleep.
Yeah.
I try.
Update 1. Thank you to everyone for your responses and for opening my eyes to the reality of my situation. I feel like I've been in a daze, doubting myself and questioning my sanity. Lack of sleep definitely doesn't help. I logged off work early saying I wasn't feeling well and checked into a hotel. Not the closest one because I think he might look for my car there first. If he came to your hotel and disrupted your sleep there, that's psychotic. Finally going to sleep now. Update 2. This is a different relationship from my previous posts. Oh, she's moved on.
Wait, what?
Okay. I started dating this guy in February 2024.
Sorry. This is probably what's happening. Probably dating another guy. And the exact same thing's happening.
Yeah, she's like, he still won't let me sleep. It's a completely different guy.
They will never let me sleep.
Dude, no, but actually it's not a different guy. It's just the same guy, but in disguise.
Or she was blind this whole time.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't even know. No, or he did the Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible thing with the mask. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, in the first and second, and I think maybe fourth.
Well, he does in the new one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he wears this crazy mask.
I watched all the Mission Impossibles right before the new one, so I can get caught up.
I've only seen the one right before this one that's out.
Okay.
That's it.
There's some good ones. Don't watch the second one.
Okay.
Waste of time.
He actually proposed to me at the end of May 2024 and only after a few months of dating.
Oh, no, girl, you know how to pick them, don't you?
With a stunning engagement ring. And Susie Richelieu says it's a form of abuse. The thing is, that's like legitimately a torture tactic. Sleep deprivation is a torture tactic.
It is used by multiple governments.
Yeah. I said I wasn't sure because it was too soon. I wore it for a day, then gave it back, saying I wanted us to know each other better and live together before taking that step. Good on you, OP. Good on you. In July, I accepted a contract startup position halfway across the country and was gone for weeks at a time. He had asked me to move into his apartment before I accepted that position, but I told him I wanted to see the job through first. When I'd come back for 1 to 2 weeks at a time, we'd stay together. He always stayed up later than me until 1 to 2 a.m. Oh no.
Oh no, called it.
But he was respectful. He'd use headphones, turn off lights, and be quiet when I was sleeping.
But
The problems
until
only started after I moved into his house in mid-November.
there, yep, here we go.
Yeah, you finally moved in. It's different. He told me he wanted to put me on the deed of the house, but I declined. There is a safe in the house where he keeps cash, probably substances too, maybe a pew-pew. He was evasive when I asked. He offered to give me the code, but I said no because I didn't want to be accused if anything went missing. The red flags were there.
Girl, stop moving into these men's houses.
And my intuition was trying to warn me. I should have listened sooner. Good news, I slept for 11 hours. I like that OP just is like, yeah, my relationship is huge red flag, but I got sleep.
I think there's an actress, I think it's Dakota Johnson, where her main priority in life is just getting good sleep.
Which is very valid. It's really hard to act on little sleep. It's tough.
I guess so.
But I also think a lot of
Recovering.
actors are severely sleep deprived. I think it's like a huge thing in acting culture, especially
Well, yeah, you got a
because
lot
you're
to get
working
done.
long hours and you're, especially if you're like filming, because you're doing a lot of night shoots. I've worked on a couple film sets and those are long days.
Those are long days. I didn't want to move to LA because I thought I was going to be in film. But now I'm just being tortured by my fellow
By your friends.
family members in on the online community, staying up at night.
Yeah, but at least you're, in
At least what?
in a
At least I'm what?
room. You could be outside doing
I'm in
a
a
night
shed.
shoot.
Where the AC is barely on.
That's true. It could be worse. My parents live 5 hours away. I was planning to see them on Christmas Eve anyway. I called and told them everything. I'm staying with a friend tonight, and my dad offered to pick me up tomorrow. I'll be there for a few weeks at least. I'm going to break up with my boyfriend, but I want to be a few states away before I tell him. If he shows up at my parents' house, we're calling the police. My dad and brother said they'll come back with me later to get the rest of my belongings, though I don't know if I ever want to go back there. I just know I can't do it right now. And there is a third update. OP, we really need to slow down. Next relationship, let's really keep our eyes wide open for those red flags.
Yep. Next time, let's pick a guy that volunteers, on the weekends, weekdays.
He goes to sleep before you.
He goes to sleep before you. Call his mother, siblings, and past
Friends.
roommates, friends. Let's see what kind of person he is before you decide to move in with them after a few months.
Yeah, moving in after a few months is a big step. I think OP kind of saw that as a less of a big step than getting married, which is true. It is less than that, but it's still like a big step, and a lot of people don't do that until like a couple years into a relationship.
Yep, Casey Roberts, you only sleep for 5 hours and 10 minutes. I haven't had my Whoop. Actually, everyone, real quick, sorry, before we go on, let's check how much we usually sleep.
Well, I fell asleep at like 12:30 because John was making dinner. So let's say like 1, 2, 3.
Well, what's your
4, 5,
average
6,
sleep? Like, how many hours of
7.
sleep do you usually get?
Usually, I would say around somewhere between 6 to 9.
Okay.
It really depends. But it ranges from 6 to 9 because no matter how late I fall asleep, I almost always wake up at 7 or 8, which sucks.
Okay,
Because if
so
you fall asleep at like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning and then you wake up at 7, and you're like, why? I don't even have to wake up at 7. We don't start work until 10:30. But yeah, so it ranges from like 6 to 9. I would
I'm
say.
usually sleeping. It doesn't count time in bed. Time in bed's different than sleeping. Let's just do time in bed. I'm usually like in bed for like 8 hours to 9 hours.
Okay, you're pretty good.
But I'm sleeping for anywhere from 7 hours. Yeah, usually around 7 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the past 6 months. And my Whoop wants me to sleep for 9 hours.
I mean, yeah, ideally you're getting about 9, but
That's wild.
yeah.
9 hours, you know how long you have to be sitting in bed for that? 10 hours.
Yeah, well, but you're like a bit of a night owl. You're always up until the wee hours.
So like 1.
That's the wee hours.
That's not, so like maybe midnight.
Update 3. I broke up with my ex. Yay! And he's been calling and leaving voicemails. He's accused me of coming to his home the day after Christmas, sleeping in his bed until 2 p.m., and stealing $10,000 as well as a green bag. In quotes. Thank goodness you didn't get that code from him. Like, thank goodness you saw that sign.
Goodness
Because she
gracious.
was like, I don't want to know the code to the safe because he's going to accuse me of stealing.
Yeah, he kind of was baiting you into that. Good intuition there.
I've never stolen from him. And I was hours away in a different state. He's adamant that I was there even though he has a Ring camera that would prove I wasn't. And then I always say, okay, well, sue me. Prove it. I went to a museum with my family and out to dinner with friends. I have 8 people who can verify I was with them. His voicemails include saying he thought about ending it all on Christmas because I'm a selfish person who left him alone. What is up with all the people that OP's with saying that she's the most selfish person? Threatening good luck finding your clothes Is it a scavenger hunt? Accusing me of cheating on him. Friends have told me he's been calling a spicy worker because I stayed at a hotel. I still haven't gone back to get my belongings. I want my things, but I don't even know what's left. The thought of seeing him again makes me feel like I can't breathe. I want him to leave me alone. I think you pull a new girl and you send all of your new guy roommates. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could just send a couple guys over to his house, get those clothes, and then scream at him. I've considered getting a restraining order, but I'm afraid it will be denied because he has more money and resources than I do. I think you should still try. I think don't be afraid to try to do it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to protect your PC or OP.
And there are some relevant comments.
Dude,
But what do you think?
I think OP needs to be single
I agree.
for the next 5 years
Okay,
of her
well,
life.
5 years is a long time. I think therapy.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
We've had 2
Terrible.
mental breaking relationships.
That's true.
If she just focuses on herself
Mhm.
for the next 5 years, hot shot that she's gonna find a guy that is not gonna be mentally breaking, and her mental, it's like
Yeah, it's
barriers
gonna
will be
so
even
good.
like stronger.
I do think like a year or two, honestly.
5.
Okay, Riley thinks 5. I think a year or two working on yourself, getting your habits in check, figuring out what you want, and also finding a person who's in line with that.
Not saying you can't see people for the next 5 years. Do not move in with someone for the next 5 years.
I agree. I was recently like going in before this person. I was recently going on dates with someone who was not like me at all. And I was like, this person, like, I'm not aligned with them. And it turns out I really wasn't aligned with them. And you really have to find someone who's like way, who has a similar lifestyle to you. It doesn't mean that you have to go to sleep at the same time, but it is a relevant thing,
Yeah, sometimes you gotta wait. Gotta see the stars align.
Mm-hmm. And then they do, and everything's great. So OP, take your time. Wonderful pause, 2690. He's immature and reacting poorly to moving in. How old are you two, and how long have you been dating? OP says, I'm 32 and he's 35. We have been dating since February 2024.
What?
This was the new guy that she
I know,
broke
but
up with.
like, when was this written? Was it a year?
Well, they've been dating since February 2024, so this is probably pretty recent.
Okay. I just wish she said months. I'm mad at her, not you.
Oh, that's true. No, I get it, but like that's a good point because how long have they been dating for them to have moved in together?
Yeah.
Well, they started dating in February 2024
Yeah.
and moved in May 2024.
Dude, girl.
Couple months.
Girl.
Did you
Girl.
not remember the last relationship?
Come on. Girl. Okay. 5 years.
Yeah.
Gem, Glamour, and Glitter says, what the F did I just read? Did you never sleep at his house before moving in? I mean, we know that she did, and she said that he let her sleep. Are you
That's
all
the
on
only
substances?
requirement she
Yeah,
has.
she's like, he let me sleep, so I moved in with him. Also, such a red flag that he proposed after a couple of months.
He was framing her, dude. Framing her.
Yikes. This is very dysfunctional. Leave. OP says he just bought this house a month ago. I slept at his apartment before I moved in. If he didn't let me sleep, I would leave and go to my own apartment. It wasn't to this degree. If I had to work, he would come to bed by 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. the latest. I don't have my own apartment anymore. Live alone. Live alone for 5 years. He uses increased amounts of booze to sleep. Girl, you gotta open your eyes to the red flags that are so obvious.
Okay, maybe we're talking about other things rather than adult beverages.
It says booze. I drink socially a few times per month and I don't use any other substances. By the way, you can use more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I just saw a comment of someone that's going to be moving in with their boyfriend and at the 6-month mark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very strong believer.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 year mark. Me personally, I'm probably not going to move in with my significant other until we get married, or marriage is in the.
Which is like, that's like a different, yeah.
Yeah. That's just me. That's just the way I move my
Yeah.
life. But at least, a year and a half, 2 years.
That's probably when I've never been in a situation where I've, been thinking about moving in.
Not yet.
Anyway, but I really like living with my roommates, and I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know if I'm personally at the stage in life where I'd be like, I want to move in with one person alone, and So I think it depends, but I do think 2 year, 1-2 year mark makes sense. But everyone's different. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And I think we could only offer advice that, we would apply to our own lives.
Yes.
But I think everyone has a right to make their own mistakes and see if it works out or if it doesn't.
And everyone, like, I moved in with my guy after 2 months. Thanks, Lucy P. You guys moved in after 7 months. You guys do you.
Sometimes it works out great.
But we just read the worst of the worst stories, and we're on super cautious mode.
Yeah.
We gotta, we're gonna pump the brakes as much as we can before we pull the trigger on anything.
And I think if you do decide to move in with your partner like earlier, just be aware of the warning signs, and know that it's gotta be hard to move out. Like if you guys don't work out, it is hard to split because
It's a lot of baggage.
You're living with your partner. I have friends who have been living with partners and they want to break up, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I can't because I'm living with them, and it's difficult.
It is.
Menacia Jones says, you are an example of what women should do in these types of situations and relationships. This guy was trying to break you so you would do whatever he wanted. Too many women allow it to happen, though the signs are glaring. My only complaint about your post is why on earth you posted here? Do you really think you're the a-hole in this scenario? Opie says, I did. I felt like the a-hole at the time of this post. I have never had a situation where I barged into the bathroom while I knew someone was in there, screamed and yelled at them while banging on the door, tossed someone's belongings off their dresser, broke lamps, and damaged someone else's property. In their house, nonetheless. I have never been violent before. Girl, you had no sleep. You had no sleep. I know I said most nights over the past 3 weeks I was sleeping 5 to 6.5 hours a night, and that's true. I had realistically slept 4 hours max the night before I posted this. I am someone that needs 8 to 9 hours. Maybe that's what makes me the a-hole, but you know what? I'm okay with that. And folks, that's the end of that story. You're not the a-hole, girl. You're sleep deprived.
Goodness.
My
gracious.
advice for you is to get some sleep.
My boyfriend keeps bringing his friends on our dates.
These aren't double dates.
Okay. How we got into this predicament in the first place is that my boyfriend just really likes his friend, Liam. He's like a brother to him.
A little bit more than a brother, maybe.
He saved his life once. Etc. But he's always on our dates. I even brought one of my single friends on a date so we could double, and Liam and her don't date. So that failed. I've honestly asked my boyfriend why Liam is always on our dates, and he says that Liam is lonely and has nobody else, and he has no siblings or a girlfriend.
He has no siblings. He's an only child and he's single.
Sam does this
Does he not have a
sometimes
friend?
where he'll be seeing a girl and he'll go out and he'll invite me along or invite Christian along.
Yeah.
Like, that's a date. I think you can go with her alone. You don't have to bring
I
a
think
friend.
you can do it alone.
Yeah.
I think you guys could totally hang out all together, but I think there is a separation between dates and hangouts, and
Yeah.
you need to make that separation.
By the way, this comes from adfluffy26, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK stories on subreddit. So then my boyfriend kind of guilts me because I know this sounds awful. Liam is the effing package for guilt.
Oh no.
His mom passed away when he was young.
Oof.
Then his dad, and then his dad and him don't talk anymore.
Oof.
So Liam just doesn't have anyone else to talk to.
Oh, Liam.
I honestly think my boyfriend is guilt tripping me, and I don't think I can do this relationship anymore. If nothing changes, I'm leaving. This has gone on for 3 months.
I can't be in a relationship with you and Liam.
And if you think the boyfriend's relationship with Liam is suspicious, click the like button. Like, sure, I feel bad for Liam, but I don't really know him. It's not my problem. It's also not just dates, movie nights. He's here. Going to the mall. He's there. Where he's not. I know this sounds made up. I still can't believe it, but it is very much real. And I basically just need validation that it's okay to break up with my boyfriend over this.
It's really okay to break up with your boyfriend over anything.
Anything?
Yeah, I mean, like it's your
Anything.
you can
I'm
always.
about to prove you wrong so fast.
No, I think it's there. It's if you don't want to be in a relationship with someone, you can decide not to be.
I want to break
Are
up with
there
my boyfriend because
silly
he takes
reasons?
too much care of his mom, who is in a wheelchair.
Yeah, are there silly, stupid reasons that make sense? Sure. But you can break up with your boyfriend for literally any reason.
I'm breaking
That's
up with my
my point.
boyfriend because he takes too good of care of me, and that freaks me out.
Yeah, obviously those are silly. I'm just saying you can choose to break up with anyone at any point. There is no one that's going to say like, "No, stop it." Ah. I mean, there might be. but there's no one that actually matters that should be saying that.
Sophia is talking about you can exercise your free will.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay. That's what we're talking about.
Of course.
Got some relevant comments. FJBP95 says, before ending it, you are fully validating on doing so based on your post. Have you put your foot down? Why don't you plan dates and tell him his friend is not invited? Period. Opie says, I have. But as I said in the post, he always guilt trips me into letting him come. Saying this out loud kind of just made me realize he's manipulative.
Yeah, if he's going, well, his mom died, and he's all alone.
And his dad
And he-
doesn't talk to
And
him.
his dad doesn't talk to him, and he's got no friends and no siblings and no girlfriend. And Opie's like, fine, okay?
Sounds like a loser to me. Ah!
Yeah, that's what you should do, Opie.
Just hit him with the emote.
Yeah. You do my...
Another commenter says, it's okay to break up. You didn't sign up to be the third wheel in your own relationship.
True.
He can spend as much time with Liam as he wants as a single dude. I called my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend to meet up. I'm going to break up with him. I'm going to tell him the exact reason, honest. And I swear if Liam is there, though, I'm not considering the possibility of not breaking up with him. It's not even just because of Liam. It's because he manipulates me into letting Liam come.
That's crazy if OP's breaking up with her boyfriend and Liam is there. She's like, hi, I'm breaking up with you and also Liam. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, this is wild. Have you seen those memes online where this guy hits up this girl, but it's like a group chat of 3 people?
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, they're all, yeah.
and he's like, dude, what's this other guy doing here? He's like, I'm just here to cheer him on.
I'm
You
just
got
here
it,
for
man.
Moral support. Don't worry. Yeah,
I mean, it's easier than screenshotting because you get to see it happen
Yeah.
in real time.
So true. You got Reyes says, I'm pretty sure Liam is going to be there. I'm pretty sure too. If I were a betting man.
It's like he can't deny it then at that point. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm breaking up with you because Liam's always around.
And he's like,
what?
"What?
No way. It's like, he's here right now.
He's like, guys, I'm not here. I'm not even here. I'm not even here.
All right, update. I broke up with my ex. I'm going to call him Xavier.
Ooh, Xavier.
Ooh, are there any stories about Liam's and Xavier's? Is this why she picked these names?
You should have named him Harry.
I went to where we agreed to meet up, and guess who he brought with him? You guessed it, Liam.
We all knew.
I was very annoyed at this point. I told him I want to speak with him privately, and he brings effing Liam. It's very uncomfortable to break up with someone in front of their best friend, but I was too pissed. I told him I wanted to speak privately. He said, say it in front of Liam.
Whatever you can say to me, you can say in front of Liam. And Liam's like, I'm not.
Eventually, I just get annoyed. Say, that's it. I don't want Liam always here in our private light, on dates, everywhere. He basically said, remember what I told you about Liam's circumstances. Blah, 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 blah. His mom died. His dad hates him, and no girl will ever talk to him. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't give an F about what's going on in Liam's life. Right now, it's about you and me breaking up. Meanwhile, Liam's just standing there looking confused.
Liam's like, dude, I told you that in confidence. Why are you telling everyone that no one likes me?
I'll get back to this later. So we were basically getting into a fight in this park, and it gets to a point where I tell him that he manipulates me into not punting Liam out of our dates. And about everything he told me Liam went through, like a brother to Xavier, saving Xavier's life, passed away mom, dad absence, no siblings, no friends or girlfriend. After this, Xavier looked like he got caught or something, and Liam got angry, saying why did you tell her?
What did you tell her?
Oh, what did you tell her?
Ooh, I think Xavier was lying so that he could bring Liam along. Either two things. Either Liam is like, why did you tell her all of that? Because that was private. Or he's lying and exaggerating things.
This is all really funny and really awful at the same time. Turns out, none of what Xavier told me was true. You can write this in your skit too.
Yeah. Dude, what are you talking about? My girlfriend's fine. You shouldn't. I guess not everything can be said in front of Liam.
Turns out, Liam has a fiance, has a real brother and sister. His mom isn't passed away.
His mom, I'm just imagining how people like, your mom's not even dead.
Definitely broke up with Xavier. 40 minutes later, Liam DMs me basically saying that Xavier told Liam that I wasn't comfortable being alone with Xavier and that he thought I wanted him to be on the dates. Sir, what? He said the reason why he agreed is because his fiance is living in Europe to finish up her study abroad program, and he had nothing else better to do.
Liam's like, sorry, Xavier told me your mom passed away. You had no other friends. Like, you really needed more people in your life.
And Opie's like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So Xavier is just a flat out liar. Glad I broke up with him. Mad I got lied to. But oh well, this was honestly not a turn of events I was expecting, and I have to get it out somewhere. By the way, you can get out whatever you need on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, and get all the hate out by listening to us.
So true. Dang, man.
We got some relevant comments. A little bit more to add here. Oh, I think it's like a little update here.
Sometimes your boyfriend lies to both his best friend and his girlfriend about them needing support. That was so weird. That's so weird. He's like, yeah, Liam's so lonely. And Liam's like, huh? Liam's just standing there like, wait, sorry, what did you tell her?
Yeah, I think we're about to get an understanding of why
Yeah.
Xavier always brought Liam around.
I think he's
That's
in love
what
with
I
him.
really want to know.
I think he's in love with him.
Or he has a secret fantasy.
About being in love with him.
Having a ménage à trois with him.
A ménage à trois.
And a ménage à trois.
Just like that.
Ménage à trois.
Yeah.
Red Bull Rana says he brought Liam so that OP wouldn't break up with him.
Yeah.
Liam was the manipulation.
I mean, Xavier is clearly manipulative.
To both people, to all his friends.
Oh, yeah, to everyone.
Relevant comments. Texas French Toast says, did he ever explain why he did it? Are you still in touch with Liam? What is Liam's take on what happened? OP says, he never explained to Liam or me why he did it. But the vibe I'm getting from what Liam has told me and my own feelings on the matter are that he was trying to frame Liam into looking like Liam was on dates with me so he could show Liam's girlfriend photos or something to break up Liam and his girlfriend.
Wow, that is a long con. That is a in-depth plan.
Hey, Liam, I gotta go to the bathroom. Could you sit beside my girlfriend? Could you actually put your arm around her so
Oh,
like...
you guys look so happy.
Yeah. Could you just put your arm around her so like no one else talks to her? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go over here with the camera. Just ignore me.
Ignore me. I'm not even here.
Hey, could you hold my girlfriend's hand? I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Ignore me.
I'm not even here.
Here's some flowers. Can you hold these and then give it to my girlfriend when she gets here? I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
I'm not even here.
Oh, that's a second runner-up. I personally think that Xavier just did it for a sick game or something. As perfect as it would have been for Xavier to be attracted to the same gender for Liam, sadly, I don't think that is the case. But who knows, honestly. Me and Liam have talked every once in a while the past few days, but I'm definitely not friends with him. I'm not really sure if I can trust him because I don't know enough about Liam to know that he's not a pot stirrer himself. Liam was definitely kept in the dark about a lot of things, so it's not his fault or anything. But I just don't know about the friendship I walked into. Based on what Liam said, I feel he's baffled. When this topic first came up, he said he wouldn't know why Xavier would do something like this. But a tiny bit of him is not really surprised. I don't know what he did before that to her not being surprised because Liam never really gave me a straight answer. But what I can take of it, Liam is really curious about Xavier's intentions. That's the end of that story.
I'd be curious too. If my best friend was always bringing me on like their dates and then I find out that they've told their partner that I have no mom, my dad hates me, I have no siblings, and I have no friends, I'd be like, that's weird. Why'd you do that?
That is super weird.
why'd
What's
you do
going on
that?
here? Why do you always need more support?
Yeah.
If that was the case, and my friend always wants me around whenever he's with his girlfriend, bro, just go hang out with your girlfriend. I'm not coming.
Yeah, I'd be like, you need to go it alone, man.
And if the reasoning was, oh, my girlfriend just isn't comfortable being alone with me,
I'd be like, maybe you guys shouldn't be together.
Xavier's gonna lose a friend and a girlfriend in the same day.
Oh yeah, he's done it. It's quick. But we've got another story, folks.
My boyfriend proposed to me, but I don't love him anymore.
Time to get out of there.
My boyfriend and I have been together for a very long time. We dated from the time we were 16 to 22.
Dang.
We then broke up for a while, but got back together when we were 25. Now we're both 29. Next year we'll be 30. 10 years after that, you'll be 40. By the way, this comes from user I Just Like to Bake. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we live together, and I know he's going to ask me to marry him soon. So I want to get my feelings in order before anything happens. I love him, I really do, but I feel sorta unloved. I know once couples become comfortable with each other and live together, the spark or whatever, but I don't like feeling like this. I still make an effort. I ask him how his day went. I'm affectionate. I put out, so to speak. A thing that really bothers me is when I say something, a lot of the time he ignores me. When I bring it up, he says that he didn't hear me or that he was busy. For example, I'll say, "Did you see there's going to be a strike tomorrow?" And I won't get a reply. I'll wait 10 seconds, still no reply. Then I'll ask, "Hello, did you hear what I said?" And he'll go, or grunt in response. He does this often. Just abrupt responses after ignoring me and having to repeat myself. I'd understand if he did this if I was talking his ear off, but I'm not even a talkative person. Yet when he talks about anything, I pay attention and respond properly and validate his opinions and reassure him when he needs me to. Affection-wise, I always give him hugs and kisses. He hardly ever does this anymore without me asking. I compliment him and tell him that he looks handsome, and he hasn't complimented me in any shape or form in probably over a year now that I think about it. I still look the same looks-wise. I haven't gained weight or anything. Not that that's a reason to stop loving someone, but you know how some people are. So I don't know what changed. If things just become stale, is this what inevitably happens? This whole situation has been troubling me for a while, but I'm not sure what to do. Our anniversary is in 2 months' time, and his sister accidentally let it slip that he's going to propose. If it weren't for that, I'd think that we've been together for too long, and he's now sick of me. I tried talking to a few of my friends who are already married, and all I got were varied versions of "that's how men are." He wasn't like this before. He would pay attention to me and talk to me, and overall, I just felt more liked, you know? Now it just kind of feels one-sided. The one time I attempted to kind of bring it up, I opened with, "Do you still like me? Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it." And he replied with, "If I didn't like you, why would I be here?" I could tell it was going to end up in an argument, so I just let it go after that. No, I don't think that's necessarily the thing we should have done there. I think we should have kept going.
Yeah. Maybe express why you like OP.
Because honestly, that rocks in my brain's response. Just, well, man here, how could man no like?
Yeah.
If man here.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, you just don't seem to be acting
Exactly.
like how we used to act with each other.
Exactly.
You opened the door, but then you got scared of what was behind it. You gotta open it all the way, or you're gonna be stuck in the same place you're at.
Yep.
How do I handle this situation? Do what I just said. I want to bring it up with him, but I don't know how to do it. I guess I'm not really good at articulating how I feel. Or should I not say anything because this is just the way relationships go? Are there people who really think like that, dude? I'm sorry, that drives me insane.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or should I just, accept this is the way things are because that's how they are and they'll never change? What?
No, you don't need to do that.
That's not how literally anything on earth is.
Yeah.
None of it. Ever. Except, don't tell pregnant women they're fat. That's, the one thing that you'll just never do that.
Right.
That's the way that is. You never, ever do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we got some comments here. Let's get into them. A comment from a deleted user says, "You can't have an honest conversation about this without it turning into an argument. Am I correct in guessing that this is a pattern, and whenever he doesn't want to discuss something difficult, you know it'll turn into an argument, so you just drop it? If so, my partner just proposed to me less than a week ago, and I can promise you that your friends are just in unfulfilling relationships. I call my fiance a literal angel every chance I get because he is. Your dude feels comfortable and doesn't feel the need to put in any effort anymore. Could be because he's just going through the motions and he isn't really that into the relationship anymore. It could be because he doesn't feel like once you get to a certain point in a relationship, effort flies out the window. Neither scenario is good or how things should be. I think it's worth trying to speak with him again about it, but definitely don't commit to marrying this dude before you have an honest conversation about this." OP says, "Whenever I try to talk about feelings or things we need to work on in our relationship, no matter how carefully I choose my words, he'll take it as an attack and turn it into an argument or just shut down completely and refuse to talk. Congratulations on your proposal. I think my situation is definitely a no more effort sort of thing. I know I have to talk to him now. I guess I'm just scared and nervous about the outcome, which is fair. That's why most people don't talk, is because they're afraid of what's going to happen."
Yep.
Androidus for life says, "My ex, who I did become engaged to, was just like this. Completely uninterested in me, unaffectionate, and not plugged into what was happening in my life. Some men are like this, but not you. and that's fine. My current partner, it's like chalk and cheese. I got all the things I was told I was asking too much for before. We will snuggle and cuddle all night, hold hands while watching TV, cook together, and chat and laugh and be silly. OP says, yes, that's exactly my situation, but he wasn't like this before. He was sweet and affectionate and interested. I don't know how I got to this point. Maybe it happened so gradually that I didn't notice until it was completely changed. I'm so happy you found an amazing partner like that. And we have an update.
Okay.
Be like, hey, this is not working for me. I feel like you don't like me.
Yeah.
And like, we got to work through that.
Yeah, I do agree with that one comment that was like, hey, so why is like this little problem, gonna make it an argument? And like what you were saying, like, yeah, confrontation makes people uncomfortable, and that's probably why. But if you're considering marriage with someone, you want to be able to communicate like clearly and openly and not have it turn into an argument before you get married.
If you're like, any talk about feelings is literally impossible.
Yeah, that's
not ready for marriage.
It's important to have.
Yeah.
Before you spend the rest of your life with someone.
Update. I thought I'd provide an update. Thank you all for the advice. So, the day after I posted here, I talked to him. I told him that I feel a bit disconnected and I'd like it if he paid more attention to me and talked to me a little more. He just said, okay, but I could tell that he wasn't interested. The next day, there was no change, and I was a bit annoyed, so I spoke to him again. I said that I'm starting to feel lonely in the relationship, and I feel like he ignores me and isn't affectionate like he used to be before. But all he said was that he didn't want to talk about it. I said that it was important and that I might want to end things if we can't talk about this. Only then did he start to pay attention. He said that he ignores me because he's tired. I understand that working is tiring, but he practically ignores me all the time. And as far as the affection and attention, he said, I don't know, things just change, Ha! I explained that I understood all of that, but I needed more. And that maybe it was unreasonable for me to want that, and maybe the type of relationship I want doesn't exist. But I would not be happy in this relationship if things stayed this way. He then said he'd try more, that he'd hug me every morning before work and try to respond more when I spoke. He also said he'd give me a compliment now and then. I didn't like how it felt like a list of chores he had to do, but at least he was willing to try, so I agreed. I also asked if there was anything I could work on for him, but he said there was nothing he could think of, because he's thoughtless. By the end of this first week, he already seemed annoyed with the hugging. He'd let out a big sigh, and it seemed like he was doing it begrudgingly. This felt awful for me, like I'm forcing this man to give me a crumb of affection, but at least he was doing it, I guessed. Girl, you could leave!
No.
You could have left.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God, I would have been gone at the first. He gives me a hug, and he goes,
yeah.
I'm gone. I'm gone. It's over.
Done. Get out of there.
My breaking point happened last weekend when we were getting ready to go to a party. It was his friend's party, and it was a fancy affair, so I had to get really dressed up. His niece and her boyfriend were also going, but came to our place because she needed help with her hair. She has gorgeous butt-length hair and wanted to curl it. As soon as her boyfriend saw her after getting ready, he said, wow, you look so beautiful. You look like a mermaid. And he hugged her. No prompting, no asking. He just did it. That's when my boyfriend called me aside and said, I guess I have to compliment you now, right? And that was it for me. I'm glad you had a moment that finally made you go, I can see clearly now.
Yeah.
This cannot work. I said I was feeling sick and I needed to go to the bathroom. We were all supposed to leave together, but I stalled for a few minutes and told them I was sorry, they should leave, and if and when I felt better, we'd meet them there. As soon as they left, I spoke to him. I said, I'm sorry I wasted his time, and I was so sorry that I didn't notice all of this sooner. I said that I appreciate his effort, and even though he was doing what I asked, it was not enough for me. I don't want to feel like a chore to somebody. I understand that the honeymoon period or puppy love thing doesn't last forever, but I want someone to like me, to like me naturally and instinctively as a person. After explaining that, I told him that I was sorry again and that I was ending things. He started freaking out and told me to think about it some more, but I was sure of my choice. Buddy, she's been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
He then said that he understands and he's sorry and asked if I would still go with him to the party as our last night out, which is an insane thing to ask. An absolutely unhinged, Where is your brain question?
Oh my gosh.
He also said it was because he was going to be embarrassed to go alone. Again, selfish.
Yep.
I felt bad because I didn't mean to do this on the day that we were going to this party and didn't want to leave him hanging, so I agreed.
Oh, OP.
Well, the lessons
Too
we learned.
nice.
Yeah, way too nice.
Yeah.
OP. I didn't want to, but I went and we managed to keep up appearances. Then, in the middle of dinner, he proposed?
Oh my goodness. Where is his brain? Can he hear you? You just said that you wanted to break up, and he thinks, oh, what a great time to get married.
I really hope that this does not go the way I'm hoping it doesn't go.
I have a feeling.
Whoa.
I have a feeling, Dakota.
No.
I have a feeling.
Okay. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do and felt trapped. I didn't want to embarrass him or myself, so I said yes.
Yep.
Everybody was congratulating us, and I was in the lake of fire. It all felt so awful, and it was difficult to not start crying out of frustration. In addition to us technically being broken up, he knows I hate being the center of attention in public like that. And by the way, I want you to center your attention on the fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, really wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime. Boom, it's that simple.
Do it.
Man. And don't ever agree to a proposal because you don't want to embarrass the guy you broke up with an hour ago.
Yeah, no. If he knows that you don't want to be the center of attention and he just got broken up with, I wonder if he's doing this on purpose to embarrass you. So you gotta do it back. Just embarrass him. No.
Yeah.
No.
I think, clearly the right move was not made here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is the right move. The move I'm making is I'm making a scene.
Yeah.
I'm now making a scene. But, OP doesn't like being the center of attention, doesn't like making a scene. But,
Exactly.
this is the risk you run of being someone incapable of making a scene. You accept a proposal from a guy you just broke up with because you cannot say no.
Yeah.
So watch yourself. When we got home, I asked how he could do such a thing. How could he put me in such a terrible position? He said, I thought maybe proposing would change your mind. Rocks in his brain. I said that it didn't, and I just said yes because it would have been awkward if I hadn't. I gave him the ring back, packed some of my stuff, and left. He was freaking out, asking me what he was going to tell everyone. But I told him to say whatever he wants. That I changed my mind, that I'm flaky, whatever. I was emotionally exhausted and didn't care anymore. I feel awful and wish I could have handled that whole situation better or smarter, but I panicked, and now we're here. Everyone is probably going to think but I honestly didn't know what to do. Anyway, things are over now, and I'm staying with my sister until I gather my bearings. He's been texting me, trying to convince me to reconsider. Honestly, I feel a little lost, because he's the only boyfriend I've ever had, and he was such a big part of my life, but I know I made the right choice. Thank God you know that, because a lot of people, they only have one boyfriend, they don't know.
They don't know.
You can have a second one.
It's possible.
We have some comments to finish this story off. Ketsukatsuri. My jaw dropped and my hand clapped over my mouth when I read that he proposed. The effing audacity. He did it to manipulate you. What am I going to tell them? Like, dude, you made this mess. F around and find out. I'm so glad you didn't actually follow through with staying with him after saying yes. I'm so proud of you for leaving. OP says, I didn't want to say yes, but there were so many people there. It was a very big party in a fancy hall, and everyone was looking at me expectantly. To be honest, I didn't even speak when he proposed. I froze for what seemed like ages and eventually just nodded. Thank you. Raz Moon says, wow, huge bullet dodge. I can't believe that he pulled that stunt. I initially thought that you would feign sickness and urge the other three to go without you. Oh well. If there are any people that matter to you within the friend group, tell them what happened. I, for one, think you did the right thing by moving out. Just bring someone with you when you get your things quicker and safer. See if you can do it when you know that he won't be there. OP replies, I initially wanted to tell the three of them to go without me, but he would have got mad at me, and it would have been a fight, so I ended up doing this instead. I'm actually stalling getting my stuff because I'm dreading it. Send someone else to get your stuff then. Would your sister do it, or at least accompany you? And shut down any and all conversation between the two of you. I was in a similar situation to you when I had a breakup, but I refused to be home when my boyfriend picked up his stuff. And he took his time picking his things up and hoping to see me again. Eventually, I made a list and said, pick it up by X date or this is all trashed. OP says, my sister wanted to go the very next day and fetch my stuff, but it was a Sunday and I knew he'd be home the whole day, so I avoided it. My sister is the opposite of me. Very confrontational, you see. So I don't really want to go with her. She suggested that her husband accompany me this weekend. So I guess I'll do that. And that is the end of that story. And people, folks, anyone out there who's non-confrontational to a fault, please work on it.
Yeah, please.
We don't need to be like rude, loudmouth jerks to everyone in our lives.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to stand on our principles.
Yeah.
Like when push comes to shove.
My relationship is being strained because my boyfriend is a poor sport.
Oh, what a sore loser.
Boyfriend, 50 male, and I, 50 female, are at an impasse over numbers. Not those numbers, LOL. What? Together, 18 months, not living together, ages a little loose for usual reasons. By the way, this comes from Outspoken Person, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we bonded over the love of a very difficult sport. He introduced me to rugby, the community, and opened a lot of doors for me. The first 9 months to a year was fabulous. We worked so hard to level up, so many great days, weeks, weekends, so much mutual support and joy. So what's the problem? He's always disappointed by his competition results, despite a lot of hard work and money invested, and gets super grumpy. He's disappointed even when he actually did quite well. He always beats me, but I'm closing ground. If I try to talk at all about the results, rankings, numbers, to gain insight and help us train smarter, he gets annoyed and says, I'm violating his boundary of not discussing numbers. But that means I also can't talk about my own results, my own wins, my own progress without running the risk of violating his boundary. I feel like I'm seeing sides of him now that I really don't like. He's insecure and unpredictable. He's blown up a few times at me, but later he doesn't even seem to remember. So trying to talk through them doesn't happen. He likes to remind me that he is the member at the expensive clubs, and low-key threatens to exclude me when he's mad at me about something. I've put in a lot of work to build our social circle and community, and that is both scary and appalling to me that he can so easily exclude me from the clubs where social events happen. A few months ago, I placed highly in my division in a really big competition, my first big award. He missed the award ceremony to hang out with a friend. He acted like my disappointment in him not being there to celebrate with me was unreasonable. He's currently stonewalling me. Yesterday, he brought up his disappointing performance at a recent event. I made the mistake of looking up a number in the post results and shared it with him. He got irritated and said he was tired of telling me to stop talking about the numbers and that he had a decision to make. He didn't care that he was the one that brought it up. He hung up on me. I sent a short apology text, no response of any kind. That was 24 hours ago. He usually reappears after a few days and pretends like nothing happened. I don't think he's upset that I'm improving much faster than he is. I think he's grappling with his own disappointment and feeling like he might not be able to do as well as he wants, no matter how hard he works. He's someone who's been good at almost everything he's ever done. I've tried pep talks, offered to help in any way with tactical training support. I've tried just listening and empathizing, but it's getting old. I think he's a bit delusional. We're competing against guys who are much younger, 20 to 30 years younger, and he keeps injuring himself with overtraining and ignoring the advice of literally everyone, including his idols. It's exhausting, and I'm tired of trying to manage his moodiness, flashes of anger, and trying to offer support. Reddit, lay it on me. How would you characterize or interpret his behavior? Am I promoting it by violating his boundary? Is that even a boundary? It feels like a rule. What would you do if you were me? And there are some relevant comments, but what would you do if you were OP?
Like it's hard because I would want to just try to talk to him and be like, hey, so it's really difficult for me. Like I don't want to cross your boundaries, but it's difficult when like this is how people talk about the sport.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's so like unresponsive to any sort of conversation. Like he just shuts down any sort of conversation about the boundaries at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think you have that conversation. You say, I don't really appreciate how you've been talking to me about this. And honestly, I feel like you guys, I mean, if you can't communicate and play this game in a respectful way, I don't know if you guys can play together anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, like, I feel like you guys are on a route right now that will end in your relationship ending. Because he's not listening to you. He's being kind of rude.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you want to protect your relationship, I don't know if you guys can play together.
Yeah, maybe.
Relevant comments. Taylor5 says, childish. He should be supportive and encouraging and happy he has found a partner he can play a sport with. A common interest is awesome. Kind of want to know what sport just to see if he's being extra childish or not. Not throwing a temper tantrum like a year-old that lost a race at school. Opie says it's scored on both points, accuracy and speed. He pitched temper tantrums at 2 matches last year. He did apologize profusely for those, and I told him if he ever does that again, we are done. Soak Dan says evidence-based thinking clears this up fast. It teaches us not to guess at motives, not to justify bad behavior, and not to argue over labels like boundary or rule. We focus on patterns. We watch what people do, not what they say. Here's what he does. He shuts you down when you try to celebrate or grow. He explodes at you, forgets, and refuses to talk it through. He threatens to exclude you from the community he helped you enter. He disappears when he's upset and returns like nothing happened. EBT would teach you this. Those are not signs of someone protecting a boundary. Those are signs of someone protecting control. A boundary is what you set for yourself to say calm and safe. A rule is what you force on someone else to say in power. You're not violating a boundary, you're violating the story he wants to live in. One where he's the mentor, the center, the champion. Your growth threatens that story, so he punishes you for it. If this is what it looks like when you're winning, what will it look like when you're losing? Let the evidence lead the way. Opie says, OMG, thank you so much. I really needed to hear that. He does talk about my successes a lot to others. He likes the association of being there to watch mouths hanging open. He says and does a lot of encouraging, supportive things, but he definitely has to exert control. He'll invite me to train with him at a very nice range, but he insists we train his way, and Loki snipes at me if I want to do something different. He tells me I'm training wrong. He'll invite others at the last minute and then be mad I'm frustrated at driving hours round trips to get in very little training time. He also lied to me about wanting to train alone one weekend when he was actually going out of state to train with some really cool people. I did place higher than him at a very big event last year, but we were both injured and neither of us performed well. I didn't tell him the results. Someone else did, and it put him in such a bad move. He spent the next day correcting my behavior in such weird ways, like I was an incompetent child. He did not like it when I called him out. I mean, like, this sounds like a bad relationship.
It sounds like he just has these personal issues that he needs to work on.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I mean, if OP really wants to put in effort to make this work, maybe she can talk to him and be like, hey, like, I joined this because it looked like you had a lot of fun, but it doesn't seem like you're having fun with it anymore. Like, how can I help you have more fun with it without just like ignoring what's happening? You know?
Yeah, I think you say, hey, can't talk to me like that. It's not okay. I feel disrespected. Call out his behavior, which it seems like you have been doing. Again, I really don't think that you guys, as of now, can continue to play this game together and also be in a relationship. Soak Dan, again, is support that disappears the moment you grow stronger real support? You asked earlier if you were promoting this by violating his boundary. In my opinion, no. Have you ever sat him down calmly and asked him straight up, why do you get so upset when I improve or bring up numbers? Because if you have not, that is the next step before making a final call not to fix him, but to gather one last piece of evidence about whether he can even have that conversation without deflecting, attacking, or stonewalling. Yeah. If he cannot have it, you already know the answer. If he can have it but blames you again, you already know the answer. Opie says, thank you. I have asked him about the over-the-top reaction to the numbers. He says he doesn't understand them. He's not good at math. His idols will tell him to work on something and tell him why, the numbers they are tracking for him. He is grateful to them and doesn't blow up at them. He'd get blackballed if he did. But he insists I'm violating his boundary, this absolute prohibition against talking about any of the numbers. He almost always deflects, attacks, and stonewalls when I try to broach a topic with him. He twists it all around. He insists I tell him when something is bothering me, but when I do, he tells me I'm wrong. I rarely bring up anything. It's too exhausting to go round and round and round on the straw man he throws out. Soak Dan says, in your opinion, what will the next 18 months look like, and are you willing to endure them? Opie says, good question. You've really helped me unpack how damaging the behavior patterns are. Obviously, I didn't share the long list of positive behavior, but I'm not sure that list actually matters. He has previously expressed a very high desire to remain friends no matter what. I think if I break up with him, however, he will exclude me and malign me in subtle ways from the community. I've seen him try to squeeze out other people. I'm starting to think that maybe it would be good if he just keeps stonewalling me. I've already cried most of the tears. If he doesn't reach out, it seems pointless to even try to have a breakup conversation. As the hours tick by, the silence is deafening. But we've been here before, and he slinks back after a few days, and each time I'm more wary, less open, less engaged, less enthusiastic. He's unaliving the relationship one outburst at a time. If he does reach out, if the cycle holds, then I need a response. I don't think he'll apologize or acknowledge the damage that stonewalling me does. He will feel justified since I violated his boundary. And Bosu says, 18 months together, you're closing in on him, he stonewalls you and refuses to celebrate your wins even when he does perform well. Girl, leave him literally in the dust behind you. You did the work for the social clubs and community. You're clearly a supportive person. The community you built will still be there. Heck, he will too at the events, but you're the one with friends. And even if this wasn't a shared sport, would he celebrate your success elsewhere? Would you give up the sport so he can have it? Would you be willing to agree to not talk about the sport at all to keep the relationship? Edit ad, not discussing numbers can definitely be a valid boundary, but in that case, he shouldn't be discussing the results at all or complaining about them without the preface that he isn't looking for a solution, just a place to vent. Opie says, thank you. He really does pretend that he's excited for my successes, but I'm starting to think he knows that it would reflect badly on him if he didn't. It's feeling more like a social manipulation than actual joy for me. I'm not going to give up the sport. I think he will probably quit in frustration. And to be honest, I've lost so much respect for him for how he handles his frustration. It is so immature. I'm not willing to give up the sport to protect the relationship. We've both been all in for 18 months, and other than his childishness about it, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. He also said that people who talk about their work are boring. I've been swamped at work recently, but I will talk about it for maybe 10 minutes over several hours of other conversation. Yeah, it's time to cut him loose. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
She's leaving him.
Good.
Mobsu says, you'll be happier and you'll probably see a significant growth in your skills without him bogging you down. Sounds like any topic that isn't led and controlled by him is boring to him. So simply let him know you don't want him bored any longer. Opie says, yes, the boring comments are so mean. He pretends he's joking, but he's not. He has asserted that if a story isn't entertaining to him, he doesn't want to hear it. Illustrious Sleep says he sounds like a child who doesn't handle it well when others get better than him in less time. It's like he's pouting because he's the one who introduced you to the sport, yet you're doing much better than he expected. Maybe he feels threatened by that because it sounds like he's already hard on himself. I don't like that he's dismissive of your accomplishments and getting mad about things that aren't even worth getting mad about. This is the total opposite of the first year you described. His boundary of not being able to say literally any numbers when it comes to this sport is unreasonable and feels like a tactic to control what you say and give him an excuse to blow up if you violate it. I also don't like how he just pops back up at his convenience, acting like nothing happened. No apology, no acknowledgement of your text or that he may have hurt you, or even that the last interaction was a negative one. As a middle-aged woman myself, ain't nobody got time for that kind of immature BS. I'd want a partner who is supportive and communicative at the very least. Even if he's not happy with his own performance, he should be willing to put that aside to support and celebrate someone he cares about. Opie says, thank you. I've been wondering if he's looking for reasons to blow up at me. That's what it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like literally every time you try and talk to him, he's like, I hate you.
Yeah, which is so frustrating to be a part of because it's so unpredictable. Because like for you, you're just talking about the sport that you like, and part of like knowing how to improve is looking at your numbers and things like that. And then he's just blowing up at you because he can't understand his own emotions and how to deal with them, so he's just blaming everyone else for it, and you're the closest one.
Yeah, and even when you didn't tell him, when someone else told him about your numbers, he got mad at you.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
So we
He's
don't
like,
need
you
this
planted
man.
them.
He's too old to be this Immature.
Yeah, it's not attractive.
Exactly.
I feel completely blindsided by some of his reactions to what seem like normal interactions and requests. I'm getting jumpy and wary. And there is an update. A week after the first post, a week of the silent treatment, he started reaching out. A short text, a link to an informational article that was actually helpful, little things like that. I gave general/neutral responses, but otherwise didn't engage. On day 10 of this round of silent treatment, he called to say he thought he had a heart attack and spent a few days in the hospital. But I know for certain he hosted an event he excluded me from on day 4 and participated in 2 sporting competitions that same weekend. I gave him a little grace because he does have a never-ending string of health problems of his own doing. But in the back of my head, I just kept thinking, liar, liar, pants on fire. He turned back on all the charm, constant attention, arranging really fun dates, the works. For a few weeks, it seemed like we were in a really good place again. But a few weeks later, boom, he blew up again at me in a parking lot when he was frustrated that he read an email from someone else wrong and drove away in a huff, and now he's gone silent for another week. Break up.
See,
Break up.
these are literally like textbook signs of a like manipulator,
Yeah.
self-absorbed person. Like,
You literally
Clearly.
did nothing wrong.
yeah.
And he is throwing a temper tantrum because
Yeah.
someone emailed him? I don't even
And
know.
then he, like, after he ghosts you, he comes back and starts love bombing you to get you to stay. And then again, unpredictable. He just
Yeah.
like blows up, which is so stressful for someone to deal with.
Yeah, don't
So,
deal with it. Don't deal with it. Leave him. Bye.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not falling for that again. I joined a different sports club 2 hours from where he lives with only a little overlap in the membership between the clubs. Filled my social calendar, hit the gym. Thanks Reddit for the reality check. So what advice do I need now? I sure could use some help with phrases I could use when we run into each other in the future. I'm pretty certain he'll approach me at upcoming sporting events and we'll run into each other at social events. By the way, you can run into us if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Wondering what she could say to him.
I think she goes, I think you talk all about numbers. Every time
Yeah.
you see him, you're like, oh, I scored this.
Yeah.
What'd you score?
Actually did really well.
I did
Thank you.
super well.
I heard that like someone did lower than me, got these numbers.
Yeah. Was that
Was
you?
that you? Yeah.
Mm,
Like
ooh,
that's honestly
rough.
so nice that OP can have just like a little, petty.
Yeah, this
thing
is your
for herself.
this is your sports nemesis.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking like you can have some satisfaction, some petty satisfaction that you are better than him at this sport.
Yeah, you can do some crap talking.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. But there is a little bit left to this story. I also need some phrases for the folks that keep asking what happened, where he's been lately, etc. They're very persistent. I don't want to malign or disparage him, but I do expect him to subtly manipulate people against me. I've seen him push out or subtly blackball others, but he's so darn charming and good looking. He gets away with an absurd amount of unnice behavior. Like everyone is under his spell. More relevant comments. Anonymous Dembel. Okay. Remember, do not engage with him emotionally. This is the type of small, petty personality that lives to control or get a rise out of people who he cannot control. And you can bet he will be doing whatever he can to get under your skin, but you're clearly smart and prepared, and you'll lock in when the moment comes. Opie says, you nailed it. As my head clears, I can see so many petty ways he exerts control over others. So many petty ways. Ugh. And folks, that's the end of that story.
Yeah, I feel like with someone like that, it sucks that they are so dang charming.
Yeah, it's so dang
But
charming.
All you can do is just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Focus on, hopefully your relationships with others don't get, skewed by this. But focus on your craft and your sport.
Yeah, focus on getting better.
My boyfriend dreads the idea of getting married. Now I want out.
Sounds about right.
My boyfriend, male 26, and I, female 24, have been together for 5 years, and he is being weird about marriage. We've talked extensively about having children in the future, buying a house together, and have even discussed how we want to handle finances after getting married. By the way, this comes from Jade Willow, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I thought we were ready to move forward in our relationship, but he told me months ago that he will not propose until he had $10,000 saved. I didn't agree with that number, but he would not budge. The discussion about marriage came up a few weeks ago, and he caught me off guard. I showed him a video of someone talking about elopement because I know a big wedding would be overwhelming for him, and he lashed out. He told me that he would dread whatever we do to get married because he hates having attention on him. This honestly upset me a bit, but I tried to let it go and move on. I'm not someone that needs a huge wedding, but I've always looked forward to celebrating the love I have with someone, and it was a bummer to hear that he didn't feel the same way. I tried talking to him about it again, but he had genuine anger about the topic. I dug deeper and tried asking if he had talked to his therapist about why he was so upset about it, and it was revealed that he ghosted his therapist 6 months ago. Obviously, I wasn't particularly thrilled about this fact. He eventually opened up and said that he doesn't have an emotional attachment to getting married, and he's just upset that it isn't exciting like most people tell him it should be. The number he gave me was just a goal because he doesn't have emotions telling him it's time. I once again tried to let it go until he had a chance to talk to his therapist about it. His parents brought up us getting married this past weekend, and he told them that he wasn't looking forward to a wedding, and to try to make myself feel a bit better, I said something along the lines of, "At least you'll enjoy asking me." To which he replied, "That's not the word I would use." I genuinely don't know if I'm crazy for wanting to stay with him and work this out. He made an appointment with his therapist to talk about this, but he's saying that he doesn't feel ready and can't name a single reason as to why he isn't ready. He's had a ring given to him by his family for around 3 years now, but hasn't made much progress on a proposal plan from what he's told me. I'm not upset that he hasn't proposed yet, but I'm incredibly upset at his behavior towards marrying me. I've had to make sacrifices in this relationship, but I wasn't expecting to have to reduce my expectations to near zero regarding getting married. All I want is a chance to marry someone I love, wear a pretty dress, and have good photos that I can appreciate later down the line. It doesn't feel like I'm asking too much, but I've been wrong before. And there are some comments. Lord Cutie, I'm going to call that. It's been 5 years. He's been moving the goalpost and admitted that he has no positive thoughts about marriage. I think you should decide now if marriage is a deal breaker or not. If it is, you need to start preparing to leave. You can't convince someone to happily marry you. They need to want it for themselves. You deserve someone whose life goals align with your own, as does he. Redwood Respite says, even if he does marry her, it's not going to be a good marriage. He will be bitter and resent her for making him do it. It will poison everything. OP, some people just don't want marriage at all. He might not want it with you. There are men that get broken up with only to go marry someone else right away. Either way, he doesn't want to marry you, OP. Why are you so desperate for him? Demand better for yourself. Lower Stick 5426 says, I think you have a lot more to worry about than the proposal or wedding. He is making important decisions that affect both of you without involving you. Suddenly ghosting his therapist and pretending that he had been going is a problem. So is setting arbitrary savings goals. He is not ready for marriage, which is far more important than the wedding day. I'm not trying to burst your balloon about a pretty dress and nice pictures. It's perfectly fine to want that. But to be married, you really need a teammate who considers your feelings and opinions as much as their own. So overall judgment is not the a-hole. I don't even know what OP could be the a-hole for.
It just for like, what's like, am I the a-hole for wanting to get married to my boyfriend?
Right. Like, no, I don't think so.
It's like, is it on me that I'm like kind of upset that he has zero interest in marrying me and in fact has implied he would dislike it?
Yeah. It's like, no.
Yes,
no.
you jerk. Listen to your man.
How dare you?
He's crying out.
But we do have an update. So, hey, I made a post about a week ago or so explaining that my boyfriend was suddenly acting really weird and angry about the idea of a wedding. It took a bit of time for him to think about it, but he sat me down the same night that I made the initial post and read me a letter that he had been working on for about a week. He explained that it was the second draft and not super polished, but when he started reading it, I felt the blood drain from my face. It was over 2,000 words about how I'm depressed, and here's all the ways it's affecting him. He acknowledged it was the worst depressive episode he's ever seen me in, and instead of trying to get me help, he compared my negativity to his ex-girlfriend. He said so many hurtful things and later admitted that he never considered how the letter would affect me. What?
This is crazy.
Okay.
This guy should be banned from being anyone's partner at all.
Yeah. He needs to come with a warning sign for his next relationship.
He needs to come with like built-in like radiation, so if you take a Geiger counter, it'll like click
Yeah.
when you put it up on him. And you
Exactly.
go,
Be
oh,
like,
sorry, I cannot date you.
Like a red flag detector.
You're gonna write me the most painful essay I could ever read, and then tell me, oh, I didn't think that would hurt your feelings.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
You're
my
insane.
bad. He spent a week on it, by the way. This is the second draft.
That's crazy.
So insane. I asked for a copy of the letter to go over in my own time, and as I read it on my own, I realized that there was no saving the relationship. I will never stay with someone that would spend a significant amount of time writing something so hurtful and then saying it to my face. The idea of having children with someone who doesn't understand how damaging and hurtful their words are is a deal breaker. The crazy thing is, this man also has depression, and I've helped him through numerous depressive episodes without raising an eyebrow. I've been there when he couldn't get out of bed for days. I was there when he couldn't feed himself, and I supported him the best I could. And in return, I get a crappy but letter telling me how I'm not good enough because my depression makes him feel yucky. We've been living together for years and signed a year-long lease about 2 months ago. The only way to break said lease is to pay 50% of the remaining 10 months. I'm not rolling in money, so that's not an option. They also don't allow for lease takeovers, and subletting is only allowed with special permission, but they are taking their sweet time getting back to us. And you can spend your sweet time by listening to full episodes with more stories just like this. Go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
Yeah, and that's where the stories are.
There is a little bit more to the story, but holy crap.
Yeah, man.
Holy crap.
like, dude, the whole thing is it's like for better or for worse, or for rich or for poor, for
Yeah,
sickness and in health.
yeah.
Like,
That includes mental health.
this guy's like, you know what? I really liked you until I realized that a relationship is a responsibility.
Right.
And then I realized I actually hate you.
Right.
And everything that you've ever done that makes me feel anything is yucky.
It's all your fault, by the way.
Yeah, I actually wish to have no feelings.
Yeah.
So I'd like to not marry you.
Yeah. Like, he is so beyond emotional, like a lack of emotional intelligence. Like, it just seems like he doesn't want to deal with his own depression. Like, so he seems to be leaning on OP in the past for his own depression, which, like, I get it, you need help sometimes. But the fact that he is, she has helped him so much and he doesn't want to return the favor just kind of shows me that he just doesn't want to deal with that stuff, like, at all.
Yeah.
It feels.
No, if he, to use some mechanic nomenclature,
Okay.
this guy's going to need a complete overhaul
Yeah.
if he's going to be in a fulfilled relationship.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, he has no engine.
Yeah.
It is blown up.
Honestly,
And he has
yeah.
no way to provide any feeling for anyone.
Yeah. OP needs to just consider him totaled.
He is not going to get fixed while in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
He needs to go to the shop
Yes.
and get a brand new everything put into his emotional, car.
Or just never be driven again. Just go to the
It
go to the
sounds like that's
scrapyard.
what he wants. It sounds like he wants to just park it in a field somewhere
Yeah.
and let it rust.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for.
Oh my gosh. But there is a little bit more into the story. Our current plan is for him to move in with his parents and pay rent so that we don't have to be around each other constantly. It's not a messy breakup, but things are still raw and it's hard to not slip back into the routine. It's hard going through a breakup when you still sleep right next to them every night. I deserve someone that wants to give me more than the bare minimum. I knew that I deserved more, but I so desperately wanted this to be the man I spent my life with. I'm not okay yet, but I know that this is the right direction. Good for you, OP. And we do have a few last comments. G-Dog Knows It says he wants you to be there for him, but he doesn't want to be there for you. I'm glad you're leaving and putting yourself first. Don't go back. OP says, another part of the relationship that I didn't mention in either post is that he is ace and I'm not. I've sacrificed a lot to be in this relationship, and he didn't have to sacrifice anything.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know what ACE or A-spec is, it's basically like you do not desire any spicy times in the relationship, really.
He just likes to be alone with his tech, and I was convenient because I put up with it. I had to beg for his attention most of the time. It's not right. All that to say, I don't plan on going back. Sorry for the rant. It's just incredibly frustrating. Orange Julius Page, responding to the fact that he is ace and OP is not. How was this not a deal breaker years ago? Jesus, take the L on this one, but you'll be exponentially better off within 6 months. OP says, because I had enough love that I was willing to work past it. I didn't value my needs over his comfort. Sounds bad, but I figured it wasn't necessary in my life. Intimacy would have been nice, but I wanted to spend my life with him, so I worked with what I was given. I don't know what that says. All due respect to this is such a fundamental incompatibility, and you are young enough to not really know how much of a sacrifice that might feel like 5 years from now, let alone a lifetime. Everything you've written about him does not help. Having to beg for his attention, total lack of empathy for you. I say this gently, but I hope that you are able to do some work on yourself before your next serious relationship so you can internalize that you deserve a compatible, compassionate, engaged partner, and you don't need to push for marriage's sake. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah, truly, you do not need to marry this guy just because you thought you were going to.
Yeah.
It's like a blessing that you did not,
Yes.
I think, marry this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Because I don't imagine any of his issues getting better while being married.
Yeah.
Because it seems like his whole issue is he's like, I don't want to be beholden to anyone.
Right. Yeah. It's hard enough that you have to break up while you have a year-long lease. 10 months left on that lease, but it would be so much harder if you were married. And I think OP knows that, so that's good.
My boyfriend uninvited me from his birthday because his friend didn't want me there.
Yeah, Josh said you'd really, mess up the vibe.
Yeah. So, me, 18 female, and my boyfriend, 18 male, oh boy, so small and young, have been together just over a year. It's been a little rocky over the last couple of months. He often says things about my friends, which aren't very nice. He tried to give me ultimatums on my guy friends that I've known since I was 5, and the final straw was him uninviting me to his 18th birthday because his friend didn't want me there.
Lame.
Yeah. By the way, this story comes from a Reddit user, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. He does have a habit of twisting the truth and has come out with loads of random lies, so I don't know if they ever even said that. He doesn't like me being involved with his friends and doesn't seem to like mine too much.
Okay.
We already all know the solution here, but we're going to keep reading the story as if we don't. Okay? The only reason I can think they don't like me is one of his female friends was dumped by her ex, and she was really on him for comfort, like a lot. At first, I get it, she was upset, but I'd walk around the corridor at 6th form, and she'd be hanging onto him and around his neck crying all the time. So I asked him to please respect boundaries as it felt disrespectful towards me. He didn't like this. So he told me he was picking her side and that his friends said I was controlling and it wasn't fun when I was around. So he uninvited me. So you break up with him, right? And we move on with the rest of our lives. This was kind of the final straw. So I said, okay, have your birthday party as you want it, and said maybe we shouldn't be together anymore if I'm not respected or wanted around. I was really hurt, but I walked away from it all and soon unfriended him on social media when I saw him talking about his newfound freedom and just posting really cryptic, mean things that seemed to be aimed towards me. Well, I'm glad you're out of there, OP. My own 18th birthday was a few weeks after, so I'd been planning my own birthday with the help of one of my friends who'd been trying to cheer me up. She informed me that he'd been posting really sad, emotional stuff on Facebook about how heartbroken he was about a week later after I unfriended him. He's also apparently planned another night out with his friends to be on the same night as my birthday night out in the same city, and I feel a bit like he's trying to now gate crash my birthday fun.
Okay.
You'd be right.
I'm going to be doing some analysis here. When do we hang out? What are we doing when we hang out? Does he even like me when we're not hanging out? And why does he not want me to hang out around special days? Once you answer all those questions, I think you should come to the consistency that you're 18 and that this is just the start of your life and you can find other people.
100%. I'm not sure if he feels bad about how he acted, or if I overreacted for leaving him because I wasn't invited to his birthday. I just don't understand the sudden 180 on his attitude and wondering if I should have just accepted his wishes, even if it did hurt. There's some relevant comments, but Girly Pop, I'm going to let you know right now, you don't know what you got until it's gone. Once you left, he said, oh my God, oh, I got to get my girly back, my Girly Pop.
I miss
And
my girlfriend.
please don't take him back. You're 18. Everything you've written about him was like the most... he uninvited you from his birthday? That's not your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Tell him to go date his friend that said you can't come.
Yep.
Relevant comments. Commenter 1, you're young with your whole life ahead of you. Don't waste your youth on someone who can't be honest with you or who doesn't respect you and your boundaries. I'm glad you're realizing this now when you're 18. I took much longer. OP says, you don't think I was overreacting then? No. He's very bad at apologizing, and I don't know if this is just him trying to apologize or if he genuinely just wants to snoop on my birthday event. In what universe is this him trying to apologize? What?
Dude, kids these days, it's so toxic.
Commenter number 2. It's his birthday party. If he really wanted you there, he would have told his friend to back off. If you think he's lying about them saying that, that means that you don't even have the trust with him that you should. You could reach out to his friends too. The fact he doesn't want you around his friends is weird. You're also young and you have a long time to find someone who actually cares. If you don't feel like this is worth breaking up after, talk to him and see how he acts. You're not overreacting. He's acting weird. OP says, it does feel like some weird power play, but I don't know, because I'm new to this and being my first serious relationship, I guess. But it almost feels like because I haven't gone groveling and crying to him, he's turning the tables, which you don't have to accept. You're young. This is your first serious relationship. You don't have to accept that.
Yeah.
He did initially try and contact me and said how lovely he was and how much he missed me. I replied with, so? And he had the audacity to say I was acting cold and how hurtful it was. Maybe I dodged a bullet. Yes, you did. Keep dodging them though. Commenter 3, it's fine to act cold towards an ex who hurt you during the breakup. Don't let his attempts to guilt you and the societal pressure girls go through, growing up to play nice and not make a fuss, cause you to feel bad for him. That was actually a bar. I haven't even thought about that. But that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Girls are brought up, I guess, to just be the problem solvers. Play nice. Do not let his attempts to guilt you and the societal pressure girls go through growing up to play nice and not make a fuss cause you to feel bad for him. He did this to himself. These are the consequences of his actions. If you give in and take him back, you'll be proving that he can get away with treating you like crap. OP says, yeah, I didn't really want to have any hard confrontation because I didn't want to give his friends that opinion on me. But then my mother reminded me, why do I care? They aren't my friends anyway. And she's right. Comment 4 says, not overreacting. I dated someone who made those micro lies about nothing of consequence. It's a disease and makes it so you cannot trust anything they say. You made the right decision for your own mental health. Honestly, yes. It's about the most mundane crap too. Like he lies constantly about everything. Like I'm a big fan of a game series and he lied and told me that there was a new one and I checked. There wasn't.
He's just a little craphead.
When I called him out on these weird lies, he would get extremely defensive and said I must just have not heard him properly. Comment 5 says not overreacting, and most likely he hooked up with that friend. He did the immature boy thing, which is to push you away until you take action, and now he will guetza it. Don't take that as him caring for you. It's a I want my cake kind of thing. Let the loser go. He is a little submissive witch to his friends. You want someone who has some more autonomy and makes their own path. Also, take this as a gift. You're at a good age to be unattached and make selfish choices that will build a future you want. Don't let a dude be the author of your story. And if he crashes your birthday, treat him like a pathetic loser. I'm so serious. Practice being a mean witch. He's going to call you one anyways, no matter how this thing shakes out. Might as well get your zingers in and have a fun story about that loser ex that you mic dropped on your birthday, boosted up by all your friends. OP says, I have my suspicions that he did like her or the attention. There is one person in his class that asked if I was okay after the news went around and said this girl is apparently known for doing this stuff. I mean, I'm a little insecure, but she must be mad insecure to have done that. She can have him and his unwashed butt. Hey, there's an update.
Oh my gosh.
So my now ex Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. Yes. Did in fact have his night out to coincide with mine in the same city. In the places he knows I'd circle. I'm quite gothic, so I went to those kinds of bars.
Ooh.
Pretty much as I suspected he would. First off, as my friends and I were walking through the city to our next place, him and his friends come out of a place a little further ahead of us. He clocked us immediately and kept sort of dragging back and turning around and looking at us as we were walking the same direction. Honestly, it was pretty awkward. We just kind of tried to ignore him at first, but then his friends turned around to see what he was doing and noticed us too. Some came over and were really nice, considering how much they were supposedly disliking me, in his words. They were smiling and saying hello, asking what we were doing out and why didn't I come to his birthday, that they didn't realize it was mine today. He, on the other hand, said nothing. He just stood there, shifting on his feet. His group ended up inviting us along, and I was a bit hesitant. But turns out they were going to the same place we were anyway. Oh, what a shocker. So he keeps trying to talk to me, and I just brush him off with yes or no answers or whatever. And he starts crying, asking why I'm being so cold, and everything's saying, saying crap like, oh, so you really do hate me? And I'm like, dude, I'm not interested in this. It's my birthday night out. Just leave me alone.
I'm gonna need some space. Easy. Easy.
Spit on him. No, don't do that. That's assault. Eventually, his friends ended up moving on to a different place and wished us good night. And he starts literally screaming to them about how I'm being so heartless, blah, 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 blah,
Yikes.
and won't talk to him, and how I dumped him, and how I was likely cheating on him since my long-term friend was there, who was very understanding, and I apologized profusely to him. It was effing embarrassing. In the middle of the street, like people were looking and everything, whilst he was having this absolute meltdown about how I'm a cold-hearted witch. It's crazy. Like the compulsive lie, he can't stop, even about he's lying to everyone. His whole life is a lie.
Sounds like he planned this to embarrass you on your birthday night with your gals.
And it's backfiring. Some of his friends ended up just walking off while some tried to console him, whilst one of my friends reminded him he didn't want me at his birthday in the first place. Meanwhile, I'm just enjoying a cocktail with my friends, watching this all unfold like a drama series. My friends found the whole thing entertaining, so did inform me of any weird, funny crap he put on social media the next morning. And I had a couple of friend requests from some of his friends and messages saying they had a blast. His friends are now your friends. Mission accomplished.
There we go.
And by the way, I have a mission for you, and it's to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your podcast platform of choice. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to almost, 65 days worth of stories now?
I lost count.
That's more than 2 months of consecutive listening worth of stories. Wow.
Approaching it fast.
So, we have a little bit more before we finish up the story here. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Strange Man who is not Riley?
Just 18, man. It's just gonna be a weird ex you had in your life. That's all that there will be and should be.
Agreed. 18 is the perfect time to have this happen. Because now it won't happen to you when you're 28 or 38.
Yeah.
Because you remember, I was 18 when I had that compulsive liar, gaslight boyfriend. All I had to do was stand up to him. Phenomenal. Let's finish this bad boy off. Of course, I had a lot of texts from his number too and missed calls, but I didn't even bother reading them. I'm too busy enjoying being free from this crap and maybe enjoying how cathartic the whole thing is. Peace. Edit, just with some more information. I'm from the very north of the UK. The legal drinking age here is 18. Please stop assuming the world revolves around Americanized ways. It's not the point of the post.
I love that comment.
Wow.
I feel like
funny.
it was very obvious that these people were in the UK.
Yeah, I
love
think
that
so
comment.
too. I was thinking France.
Somewhere.
España.
Relevant comments. Number 1, good call leaving that one behind. He's a whole Twitter. Never believe for a single second his remorse is for you. It's only for his own loss. OP says, thanks. I knew immediately that his charade was only for his own benefit, either to garner sympathy or manipulate even more. It was like watching a toddler throw a tantrum. Yeah, gotta be. I know that's embarrassing, but it's most embarrassing for that guy.
Yeah.
Commenter 2 said, I'd block him if I were you. Nothing to be gained from messaging you. I agree. Happy birthday, and glad he saved the further hassle and drama he would have caused by showing his true colors. OP says, I do have him unfriended, so it all just goes into a request. I just leave it there, and I'm still slightly stung. And for a reminder for this crap I do not want to tolerate again. There we go. And that is the end of that story.
Yikes, dude.
My boyfriend's family looks down on me because I didn't come from money.
Get rich and prove them all wrong.
I am 28 female Hispanic American who met my boyfriend, let's call him Brian, 32 male, 5 years ago on a backpacking trip in South America. We did the long distance thing and it worked out well because I was finishing up my studies and he was looking for a job. By the way, this comes from the throwaway girl in NL, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, his parents have always had reservations against me, especially his mom. She comes from a blue blood family and wanted her son to marry into money. I don't come from money. My parents came from a Caribbean country to New York and worked hard for what they have. It's not much, but we have our essentials. Upon realizing our relationship was serious and we wanted to live in the same country, I decided to move to the Netherlands. For him to live in New York, we'd have to be married, and we don't want to rush into marriage when we're not as financially stable as we'd like to be. This was 2 years ago, and we wanted to live together first. It was easier for me to move to the Netherlands because there is a relationship visa that only requires him to have a stable job. No marriage needed. We planned this move for 2 years, upon which, in that time, Brian lost his job and I couldn't move, so we had to wait another year. In that last year, my dad had an aggressive battle with cancer and passed away a few months ago. Words cannot express the amount of pain, stress, and depression in these last few years because of this. I actually moved last December to the Netherlands. Due to regulations and a lot of crap with visa stuff, long story, I had to move, despite me wanting to stay because of my dad's declining health. I visited a few times and made it back the day before he passed away, thankfully. I made it work, though. I enrolled in university to go for my master's. I am starting Dutch lessons, started seeing a psych, slowly but surely. I'm trying to make a good life here. His parents are still very harsh towards me. They thought this would be a typical vacation romance. His mother is nice to me in person, but witches to Brian about how different I am, how our cultures clash, how he needs to be careful that I'm not out for money. She calmed down about this lately, but it is resurfacing. Now that I live here, it's like I need to rush to be a typical Dutch person. I need to have a job, know the language. They frown upon me and constantly worry Brian that I'm not doing what I need to do. Brian feels stuck in the middle, constantly defending me, but seeing where his mom comes from. This past weekend, his father, 65 male, was in a terrible bike accident. As someone who just lost her dad, I am there for my boyfriend who is struggling as his life hangs by a thread. My heart breaks for him, and I can see and understand what Brian is going through. His father lives in a different city, so every day we've been commuting to visit him. Wow. His mother tells me not to visit anymore because his father has too many guests. The house is too busy for her to entertain us when they're not in the hospital, etc. I understand that and respect that, but then I find out that my Brian's younger brother Joey's 30 male girlfriend, let's call her Marianne, 27 female, is not only allowed to visit, but she even stayed over at their home. She is Dutch, and his mom constantly showers her with compliments and tells the family what a perfect example of a Dutch girl she is because she comes from a good family, has a good job, and is perfect.
Are we sure that this is because you make less money and not just because you're not Dutch?
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of xenophobia going on over here. Is it crazy for me to think I'm being treated differently? Girl.
No, you are.
You are being treated differently. Very blatantly so. I don't think she's trying to hide that.
She's not hiding it.
Right now, I want to be there for Brian, but I feel like his family pushes me away and doesn't want me to. The way they treat me hurts a lot, and I feel like I haven't done anything wrong to rub them the right way. Brian and I have a good relationship with a few turbulent problems. Granted, I am the first girl he's been serious with, lived with, while I have had plenty of experience in those departments, but I moved here for a reason. I want to make a life with him, and I'm willing to work on our problems, but it seems like his family just doesn't want to accept me. I don't really know what to do. I feel paralyzed in my emotions. Sometimes I wonder if I should just go back to New York. Right now, I can't. I'm in the middle of my master's program, so I'm at least here for the year. The last few years have been so hard, especially with the death of my father. Feeling lonely and alone here in a country that is so culturally different. I'm trying hard to make it work here, but sometimes I feel doubtful. Just so everyone knows, I understand and respect that his family is all over the place because of his dad's condition. I've felt like this even beforehand. It's just aggravated now, especially that I would think that they'd be open and understanding that I want to be there for my guy in such a hard time. Another thing to note, things recently got stirred up starting with his older brother's birthday. Let's call him Harry, 35 male, a few weeks ago. I had this terrible bronchitis that flared up, and though I had RSVP'd to attend, I canceled at the last minute because I didn't feel well, and I wanted to use my energy to finish a final exam essay I had due in 2 days. This was just a family dinner at home. It wasn't some huge lavish event. I felt okay canceling, but his parents and his brother found me offensive to cancel last minute for something that wasn't that big of a deal in their eyes.
They probably would have had a problem if you went too.
You had bronchitis, and they were like, "Why didn't you come?"
Yeah, and if you went, they would have been like, "You came with
You came
bronchitis."
sick. You can't win.
It's a lose-lose.
You can't win. Duchess Cassandra says, "Learn Dutch in secret."
She was learning it too,
She
right?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow, no, they're just being super xenophobic towards OP. I felt okay canceling, but his brother and his parents found me offensive to cancel last minute for something that wasn't that big of a deal in their eyes. I had to email them this long apology because they were upset at me and were yelling at Brian about it for so many days. Now, today for Easter, my boyfriend and I had plans for an at-home dinner. Easter is very meaningful to my family, and this is the first Easter I am away from home and that my dad isn't around. The plan was that tomorrow we go to his family for the Easter Monday dinner at their home. They celebrate Easter Monday here in the Netherlands. Now, his dad's condition got worse last night, and Harry drove him and my Brian to his mom's house in case something happened. I was told again not to come. Yet Marianne came along, stayed over, and is there to support Joey. I mean, I think at this point, like, your partner really needs to...
Yeah, needs to put a stop to this. Something, I mean, there needs to be that very out there, like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And, like, I am with this person and stop. Like,
Please, like, we live together. We're serious.
yeah.
She's not just going to go away. You can't keep
Yeah.
treating her like this.
And to now miss the Easter that,
Yeah.
like, means so much to you.
Yeah. Yeah. This is...
I don't, like, it's
really
not
sucks.
necessarily, like, it's not like a breakup. Like, things are going great in your relationship.
Yeah.
It's just like
it's a conversation.
yeah. And he needs to have the
Address it.
spine to go back to his family
Yeah,
and say
like,
it.
I think it's tricky right now because it is
Yeah.
like, obviously, the dad is in the
His
hospital
dad
and
is
stuff.
sick.
But
But, like, say, well, hey, Marianne's here.
yeah.
Why couldn't my girlfriend come
Yeah.
on a holiday that I was supposed to celebrate? On a holiday
On a
that I was
holiday.
supposed to celebrate with her
Yeah.
because she just lost her father.
Yeah. And Red Bull Rana says, what is xenophobic? Xenophobia is when you have prejudice towards a person from a different country. We're going to get into more of the story. Then Harry said the plan was that they would see their dad in the afternoon for Easter today and that he'd drive Brian over so we could spend time together since I was alone. Brian calls me 30 minutes later to say Harry changed his mind, and since the whole family is together anyway, that they will have dinner at their mom's house and that Brian would come home late. So even though I prepared something, and this coming from the guy who says canceling last minute is wrong, does it to me and doesn't see anything wrong in it. They keep saying don't come, and just now they say if I want to come to take a 2-hour train ride over. Meanwhile, Marianne is being picked up to be taken there, and I have to spend a crap load of money to get out there. And he says the whole family is together. Yeah, except me. I don't feel that is very nice at all, and that is what motivated me to write this post. What do you guys think? An update. There is an update, folks. But what do you think? What does OP do?
Oh, it comes back to like
Yeah.
your partner, not husband. Your partner needs to be like, hey, she is coming to these things. Like I am with her long term. We are living together. Like, this is serious. And if the mom doesn't, or if any of the family doesn't get that, like, I don't even know if you go like low contact with them, or because that's also the only people you know in that country.
Mhm. Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah, I think you just have that conversation with your partner and you say like, I'm alone here.
Yeah.
I need you to step up for me because no one else is going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, but
If you're actually trying and you're actually trying to learn
Yeah.
Dutch, you're actually trying to get a job, like, you're putting in the work, and they
Yeah.
are just, they don't care.
but there is an update. Someone made a point about how Brian's mom may see me this way because it seems like I'm mooching off her son. I can understand why you may think this. I foolishly forgot to mention my job situation. Prior to moving to the Netherlands the first time, I saved a lot of cash. Bartending, waitressing, and writing whilst finishing my undergrad. I had 4 long-term freelance writing jobs that dwindled down to 1 as of January 2015. Yes, my guy handles the main bills, but I contribute for groceries, dates, my personal things, school, etc. However, after my dad passed away, I took a leave of absence from work, and I'm still on this leave considering how unbelievably time-consuming my thesis is. About the situation with my boyfriend and his mom, I mentioned that I made an anonymous post to my boyfriend, and if he had wanted to read the advice. He said he absolutely wants to, but that right now isn't the right time to discuss how to handle his mother. All of our energy needs to go to his dad, and I understand that. I told him I support him mentally and that I know what he's going through. By the way, I know that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I see a lot of people in the chat saying that she needs to be the one to go in and like say like, hey, this is what's going on. Do you like, I think to her, they're saying to the family.
Oh.
Like, if you're not seeing me as family and that's not fair and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's your thought? Like, I'm kind of torn on that because it's like, yeah, she needs to make her mind known to them, but is it her place?
I don't know if that would be effective.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
Especially right now, while they're dealing with the dad in the hospital and stuff. I feel like if you did that right now, they'd be like, wow, look.
Yeah.
You know, the American who doesn't know when to like, you know,
it's such a tough place
keep
with
their mouth
the dad
shut
in the hospital.
Yeah, I think that they would not react.
Yeah, okay.
To
some
that
people,
situation.
Amy Lynn said, nope, his family, his responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
more of my thoughts.
I agree. But there is a little bit left to this story. He understands that what his mother said and the way she behaved was insulting towards me and already mentioned something to her. She apologized to me and said she doesn't want me to feel this way and that right now we're all focusing on his dad. I still agree that there needs to be a deeper discussion about how she has acted, especially in the past, about pressing me to be Dutch. But I do see that now is not the right time. Over the past few days, his dad got worse. May have had a stroke. They are looking into it, doing a lot of routine tests, and for now, he is stable and doing well. It was a terrible accident, and the doctor said he is extremely lucky to be alive. And we are all thankful for that. And that is the end of that story, folks.
I told my partner that he needed to find a job, but he kept refusing.
Get a job!
Myself, 31 female, and my boyfriend Sean, 30 male, not his real name, just celebrated our 4-year anniversary this month. In January, we welcomed our first child, a little baby boy. By the way, this comes from user StrikingHistory337, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we met through a mutual friend on Facebook, talking and texting for hours, and then eventually, 2 or 3 months after being introduced, we met in person and started dating not long after. Growing up, my parents always stressed I needed to date and marry someone who could take care of me. This became even more pressing when I became sick in 2017 with systemic lupus. My lupus attacks my joints and even causes me to have low blood platelets, which makes me a walking accident waiting to happen. Recently, we found out my lupus is attacking my kidneys, and for people with lupus, it is hard to find a life partner because not everyone wants to stick around with someone who is sick and help take care of them. I was terrified to tell Sean I was sick, but when I did, he reassured me that no matter what, my illness will not ruin our relationship. He's been great with everything from doctor's appointments, surgeries, reminding me to take my medications, and helping me shower when my body is just too sore to move on its own. When Sean and I started dating, he wasn't working. It wasn't unusual at the time because it was 2021 and we were in the middle of the pandemic and our state was still locked down. Even though he wasn't working, I didn't mind paying for small things like a quick bite to eat or a small gift here or there. My love language is gift giving. At the time, I worked for local law enforcement as an administrative clerk and I made decent money. Not long after we started dating, I was let go from my job and job hopped for a couple of years before landing my current job as a veterinary assistant. I have been at this job for a year and a half, and I love it. Throughout those few years, my boyfriend held 2 jobs, but they didn't last long. The first job lasted 6 months, and the second, only 3 months. When he would get a job, he would complain that his brother-in-law, Tom, didn't have to work because he was getting SSI for his autism, and that it wasn't fair. I told Sean that living on SSI is very, very hard, and that it's not a comfortable way to live. I have friends who are on SSI for physical disabilities, and they struggle every single month. But when Sean doesn't work, he complains that he wants to work, and I tell him he can't have it both ways. Sean was diagnosed with ADHD and major depressive disorder, and his doctor said he could technically file for permanent disability. I asked him if that's what he wanted, and he said he wasn't sure because he likes working. Backstory on Sean's family. When I met Sean, there were 6 people living in their 3-bedroom house. Sean's parents, his youngest sister, Nicole, middle sister, Rose, and her husband, Tom, and then Sean himself. The only person working at the time was Sean's dad. Growing up, Sean and his sisters were never encouraged to work, get a driver's license, or go to school. So his sisters have only ever had 1 job, which they had quit after only a couple of days. Sean worked for his grandfather's landscaping company and learned how to drive, but he dropped out of high school and his mom told him it wasn't important to finish anyways, and he never ended up testing for his license. Sean's mom had jobs in the past, but always happened to get sick after a couple of weeks of working and would just never go back when she got better. I felt bad for Sean's dad and Tom because they were taking care of a bunch of adult babies. But even when Sean wanted to work, his mom would talk him out of it and even convinced him to quit his first job. When he told me he quit, I was very disappointed in him, but told him he should go back to school for his GED. And that is what he did. Maybe this is a good place to pause anyway and say, what the heck's going on with the parent values here?
There's a lot going on, especially for Sean. Like, can you imagine with everything going on in his life and then also with OP tied to it? I feel like Sean's going to crash out.
Sean's like, my wife has lupus. We just had a kid.
I'm taking care of adult babies.
I've been programmed to want to be on social support my whole life.
I need to go back to school and finish my GED.
Is it from both sides? I'm so confused. So the dad works, but is also like, you should definitely want to get on disability.
Yeah,
it's so
that stuff's
confusing.
great. He's like, what?
So dad's just like, I wish I was on disability.
Yeah.
I got to work for all you guys. Why don't you guys get on disability?
This
is crazy. So when Sean got job number 2, it was a love and hate relationship. And 3 months in, he had to take a family emergency call and he was let go because he wasn't supposed to be on the phone. It was what it was, and we made things work. At this time, I was still living with my parents and he with his. Crap hit the fan when I caught my dad cheating on my mom. Yeah, the cheating on my mom, though, is a story for another post. My mom exiled him, but eventually let him come back home. My dad made my life very difficult, and I ended up moving out and into my boyfriend's already cramped house. The agreement was I pay the water bill, $350 every month, and that would be considered my rent. But I had to give the money to Sean's mom, my mother-in-law. By this time, Nicole had 1 baby and was pregnant with baby number 2. Her boyfriend also started living in the house and paid exactly $0 in rent or bills. He had a great job making $27 an hour, and Sean's parents saw no help from him. Every time Sean wanted to go test for his license or get a job, his parents would talk him out of it and tell him to focus on our relationship. But I was confused because there was nothing wrong with our relationship. Here and there, I would help Sean where I could as far as looking for jobs and fixing up his resume. At the time, I was finishing school for my associates in veterinary technology. This was my 3rd degree, as I have my AA and BA in English. Then, in August of last year, I found out I was pregnant. We were so happy and told his mom. Nicole was happy for us, but Rose went off on a tangent on how I was a horrible person and that it was her that should be pregnant. It really hurt, but Sean reassured me it would be okay. I stressed to him that we needed to get our own place, especially with a baby on the way, and he hit the pavement looking for a job. In November of that year, Sean landed a job making $29 an hour, full-time with benefits. Not long after, in December, I was admitted to the hospital with pregnancy complications. Around this time, Sean was let go from his job because he didn't have a driver's license. Even though his job didn't require him to drive, higher-ups required all of their employees to have a driver's license. So Sean was let go because he was hired on what they called a technicality. Because time was ticking with the baby coming soon, doctors wanted me to have the baby early. Sean made the necessary steps to get his permit and then his driver's license. This included him getting glasses, which was a pain in the butt because he had a hard time passing the vision test without his glasses. The DMV held his permit until he got a doctor's clearance. Woohoo, California DMV. I was hospitalized an hour away from home because of how young my baby was going to be when he was born, and he needed to be at a level 3 NICU hospital. This made visiting from Sean very hard because he couldn't legally drive, and his parents had to drive him to see me. When he would come visit, his parents would leave him there for a few days at a time until my parents could drive him back to their house, and Sean's parents would come get him from there. Most of the time, his parents would say no to bringing him and tell him to ask my parents to take him, which was already embarrassing. My parents couldn't always bring him because of how far he lived from my parents, and it would make them backtrack and make the trip 30 to 45 minutes longer. Then in January 2025, I developed severe preeclampsia. I was in disbelief and frustrated about it, especially when the nurses were giving me a bunch of medications but not telling me why. I refused more medications until someone explained to me what was going on, and one nurse threatened to have my baby cut out and taken from me like a cesarean. What the? They got the mean, gruff nurses at the hospital.
What is
that
going
you went
on?
to.
What is going on?
Said, if you don't take this medicine,
Also,
I'm taking that baby.
Sean's parents. Can we just talk about them for just like one hot
That's
second?
what I'm trying to decipher. What is up with those people?
There is something like you need to focus on your relationship, but you need to like do work, but you don't need to do that. They're so wishy-washy on all over the place. I'm kind of confused on what they actually want. And at this point, I'm like, what do you want from me if I were Sean and OP like together? Because this is very confusing from their standpoint of, I don't know.
I don't know if this is what Belton in the chat commented illegal, and I don't know if that is in reference to something else or if that's maybe the
It could be from the
status
nurse
of their their citizenship.
I was very
So
confused
they're
by
like,
that
maybe,
last.
maybe the parents or like their immigration status could be, because a lot of
I don't
times
know.
if families are like they have something like that, they're like we don't want anyone, we don't want to bring any attention to this area. So it's like, yeah, you don't have a driver's license, we don't want you to get one. So then they're going to say, oh, who's your family members? Who's taking care of you? Your mom, your dad. Do they have driver's license? Who are they?
I just feel like OP cannot catch a single break. Like the nurses, like everyone is just.
That's weird.
This
The
just doesn't
nurse
seem
is saying
real.
that's crazy. That person should not be a nurse.
Yeah.
Belton was referencing to the nurses' activities. However, I posited an interesting theory then all by myself. Let's get back into the story. So she threatened me like I was uneducated and ignored me for hours. I was in such a panic that I didn't sleep. I called my mom hysterical, and she called the hospital's patient liaison, who spoke with me about what was going on. I told her everything, and those nurses were removed from taking care of me. My mom and Sean drove up to see me and make sure I was okay. On January 15th, 5 days later, my doctor told me to make my phone calls because I was going to have an emergency C-section, and the first person I called was Sean. I told him the baby was coming and I needed him to come to the hospital. Sean told his parents about what was going on, and they flat out told him they weren't going to take him to me. I asked if they could take him to my parents' house so my mom could take him, and they said no. I was heartbroken and scared. I was having major surgery, and my son's father was not going to be there. I called my parents and let them know what was going on, and they left work in an instant and tried to work something out with Sean's parents about how to get him to the hospital, but they wouldn't budge. Sean was not going to be there. Why? Why can't Sean go, hey, don't care if you don't want me there, parents. I'm walking out of the door.
At this point, yeah, why doesn't Sean just like call OP's parents and like, hey, pick me up on the corner, let's go. It's go time.
Anything.
Like they cannot stop you from leaving the house, Sean. Open the door. Free will.
Don't miss the birth of your child.
He even wants to go. You can tell he's like wants to go, but what? Yeah, someone said Uber.
People are talking about ages, and it's I think the ages at the beginning were like 30. Ages at the top were 30, and sometimes, you know, when you have stories, the details aren't always exactly true. So don't listen to your parents when
if
they say
my
you can't see
child,
a child be born.
Is being born, and my partner says, I need you here right now, I am moving everything and anything to be there.
Nah, but my mommy said no. Because of my lupus, I had to be completely sedated for my operation in case there needed to be life-saving measures done. That meant I could not have a support person in the room, not even my mom. The baby was born with no issues, and I had no complications. Baby spent 4 weeks in the NICU and finally came home. Because I had major surgery, I stayed with my parents while I healed. My postpartum depression was rough, but we made it through. And by the way, You've made it through to the part where I tell you you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search the name of our show, OK Storytime. And boy, oh boy, you'll be surprised at what you'll find. It's more stories just like this. We have a little bit more story. Where are we sitting there, Keon? Where are we sitting now?
I'm scratching my head at everything Sean and his family are doing right now. Why didn't Sean get any means of transportation to help with the baby, help OP, go against his parents' demands? What are the parents doing? I need answers. There's so many there's more questions than answers right now, and I need something that's gonna help me because it seems like they have no reasoning. I'm confused.
There's truly nothing that could justify other than like maybe that like if they are if they're
no
well this is just I'm not a part of a a community. I'm not tapped into the illegal immigrant experience.
Well,
there's undocumented right because I'm pro immigration.
I don't know about
sometimes when people when they're they just don't want the scrutiny. They're afraid of the scrutiny. I don't think that's what's happening here.
Sean
it doesn't sound like that's what's happening here.
Sean is a grown man. And I get it. You live under your parents' roof and you live by their rules, but this is one of those things where I don't care. Anything you say, I don't care. I'm walking out that door. And whatever you want to do with punishments or repercussions, whatever. I'm walking out that door.
Yeah. I mean, what could stop it?
That's what I need to know. I really need to know what pushed the parents to be like, you can't go.
Well, hopefully we get there at the end of this story. Fast forward to today. And this is the end of this story. I'm back working. And while I work, Sean is the primary parent to our son. I work 10-hour days, but commute 1 hour to and from work. When I get home from work, I give the baby a bath, a cuddle, and put him to sleep. I take him to all of his doctor's appointments and therapist visits. It's been a struggle because I had to get another car due to my old car breaking down. I've been asking Sean to look for work, but he waves me off. We have childcare, so that's not an issue. I told him I'm drowning in bills and need the help, and he tells me, I'll figure it out. I don't know what else to do. I've contemplated on giving him an ultimatum. If he doesn't get a job in the next couple of months, we might need to rethink our relationship. I feel like I would be an a-hole, but I also feel like my feelings are valid. Thoughts. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
So
it just got worse and worse for OP. It got worse for us too. We didn't find out a single reasoning why Sean's parents said you can't go. Now we have baby.
Yeah.
We have baby. Great. We have baby, healthy baby. Great. But now Sean doesn't want to do anything.
We're going to have to go to couples therapy at the very least.
We also need to get out of this house.
Yeah.
Get out of this house first
can't
thing.
Be living with the parents. Yeah, we're going to have to crack into why that's going on and how much that his family dynamic is sort of leaking into your family because it's wrong. It's bad. It's not right. My mom abandoned me as a baby. Now my new family betrayed me.
Throw all the families away.
For a bit of context, this all happened in the year of 2021. Me, female, 23. My ex-best friend, also the same age and female. Let's call her Gina. Her little sister, let's call her Ginny, 21. Their brother Tim, 15. Their mom Susan, 45. And their dad Chad, 47. So they're all living under the same roof at my family's house. How did this happen, you ask? Well, we're going to find out. By the way, this comes from user BabyCakes98 on the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am an only child. My mom went to work overseas when I was just 2 years old, and my dad passed away when I was 12. I grew up with my grandmother, who loved me dearly, and an uncle who treated me as his own daughter. My uncle also worked overseas when I turned 10 years old. When my dad passed away, I was left with my grandmother. My mom was financially present for me and always made life easier for me, as she is still providing everything that I needed financially. When I reached the age of 18, my grandmother was asked to live with my aunt, who was living in another city, which was about an hour and 45 minutes away on a plane. She was asked to stay there for 2 years, and I couldn't come with her as I'm still in college. I told her I could survive alone now since I was 18. My grandmother, being the loving grandmother that she is, does not want me to be alone in our house as she knows it gets lonely there. Our home is not that big. It is a bungalow house with 4 bedrooms and is all made out of wood. To assure my grandma that I will be okay, I asked her if it's okay that my best friend Gina and her sister Ginny stayed with me at our house, since we practically know each other since elementary school and have stayed as friends until college. My grandma agreed as she trusted Gina and their entire family. So it was decided that Gina and Ginny will stay with me at our house. The first few months were okay. We were happy doing teenager stuff and, of course, enjoying the perks of living alone. We stayed up late, talked about boys and girls as I am bi, and basically just did what teenagers would do. After a few months of staying together, I have noticed that their mom has already been taking baths in our house. I didn't mind, as she was also like a third mom to me. However, their dad also did the same, and their little brother coming to our house to use our comfort room. For additional context, they don't have their own house. They were living with their grandparents too, and although the house is bigger than ours, they have 2 families living there. Thus, their home is very crowded. They're a family of 5 plus their other family members, which is a family of 4, their aunt and their grandma, so a total of 11 people live at their house, and they only have 1 comfort room, so I really did not mind the subtle changes. So a few more months passed, and they were punted out of that house as their grandma and their mom had a fight due to the cleanliness of the house. Their mom told me that their grandma was asking her to clean the entire house, even if it's not their mess. And she got fed up, so they had an argument leading to them being punted out and they have nowhere to go. So me being the naive girl who has been with this family for almost all my life, I called my grandma and asked if they could stay at our house temporarily as they have nowhere to go. And we have 3 extra rooms. My grandma reluctantly agreed, but we called my uncle first to ask, and my uncle strongly disagreed, but I pleaded with him. Me being the only niece, he agreed. This family moved in with me at my own house. The first few months were great. They didn't treat me differently. They treated me like family, feeding me their food, giving me what they had, and even including me in their family outing. However, this temporary stay turned into years. At this point, they've been staying at our house for 2 years. The house that I once maintained with cleanliness was now all trashed, with soiled clothes everywhere, reeking stench of dog poop and pee, as they had dogs and they never clean. Cigarette butts of their dad and brother were all over the place. They never washed the bed sheets and pillowcases.
Okay, so grandma at the last house was right.
Yeah.
It was them.
My grandma got home and saw the state of our house, and obviously she got angry. And at first they cleaned, but then they went back to their old habits a week later. My grandma had to go back to my aunt's place as they didn't have anyone to watch their house. They went out of the country for my older cousin's wedding, so my grandma left again. I tried to endure it. I never leave my room when I'm at home. At this point, the tidiest place at our house was only my room. The living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom was filthy dirty. Soiled underwears and sanitary pads left in the bathroom. I had to clean them as they never did. I was enduring this for 3 years now at this point, and I bottled up my anger as I did care for this family, and I didn't want to punt them out. They don't have anywhere else to go. After 3 years, you could have undoubtedly figure out somewhere else to go. Yes, they paid for the electricity, but just the electricity. They never paid rent. Water here is also free, so they just paid the electricity. We have fresh water from the mountains, so we don't really have a water bill. 2 more years passed. It is now 5 years at this point. A neighbor told me that they were spreading lies and telling their guests that I was the one they took in and my house was theirs. Basically, they told people that they let me live at my own home for free because I don't have parents. The neighbor, being there since I was born, reacted and told the guests that it wasn't true and that this is my house and they were the ones living here for free. Another neighbor came up to me and told me that they were spreading news to the other neighbors that they were feeding me and that I was abandoned by my family. I mean, I was alone, but I wasn't abandoned. I buy my own food. I had enough allowance for me to buy my own food and groceries each month. After that came out, I was hurt. These were the people I trusted and cared for the most, and yet they did this to me. At this point, I was getting depressed as I had no one to talk to about this. Luckily, my best friend asked me to go to their place to talk as he feels like something is not right with me. He stated that I was not the usual bubbly and energetic person that he knows anymore. Then and there, I let it all out. I cried for hours, and my best friend consoled me for hours. Now that someone knows what I'm going through, my best friend has offered to stay with me there. I agreed, and we again asked my grandma and uncle for permission, and they both agreed as they know this best friend. Before my best friend could move in, my ex-BFF's dad had bought a flat screen TV, which I didn't think was conventional, knowing that the funds they used to buy that TV were supposed to be educational aid funds. That TV screen had broken when I arrived. I never touched this TV, as I do not touch their things. And I was at my best friend's house when this happened, but they somehow blamed me for that TV being damaged. They never told that to me straight to my face, but multiple neighbors came to me and told me that they were saying that I destroyed their TV. I was shocked, and my neighbors were shocked, as I never go out of my room when I'm in the house, with the exception of going to the bathroom and cooking. But most of the time, I'm just inside my room. I never confronted them. The day came, and my best friend moved in with me. We shared my room, as my room had 2 beds. So he was using the other bed. When he arrived, their dad was mad. He was screaming that I never asked for his permission, which is crazy because it's not his house.
At what point in their mind did they get this delusion that they have owned this house the whole time and that they are the ones doing like a good deed for someone?
Yeah. We need to find where that line was, take a time machine back to that moment, and immediately get them out of the house. Mind you, I had already asked permission from my grandma and uncle, the people who actually own the house. I told him that my grandma and uncle knew, so he never brought it up again. But when I was at work, I was working at this point and have graduated college since, my best friend called me and he was crying. He said that their dad threatened him because he was getting worried. I rushed home, saw my best friend at my neighbor's house, and they let him nap there while waiting for me. This was the time I decided that I couldn't take it anymore. I went to our local government hall. In my country, they are called a barangay hall, and our elected barangay captain, kind of like an HOA president, was my uncle's closest friend and has known me since the day that I was born. Pretty good guy to have on your side in this situation. I told him everything that happened, and I was crying. He also got worried, as I'm the type of person that won't make a fuss about anything unless it's extreme. He called the entire family of my ex-best friend into the barangay hall and talked. Please know that barangay captains are powerful in our country. They are tied with the mayors and our city's government body. The barangay captain asked me what I want to do. I asked if they could leave. They agreed, but asked for a 2-month extension. I said no. I said I want them out by the end of the week.
Yes.
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 And by the way, if you don't want this story to end, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts like this. Just search OK Storytime, and you can find over 60 consecutive days worth of stories to listen to. 60 times 24 hours. They had no choice and got out of the house, as our conversation has left a record at our place, and neighbors are on my side. Last I heard, they rented a place near a bridge that gets flooded every time it rains. And some neighbors were telling me that they were talking crap about me and how ungrateful of a brat I am after they took me in as their own child.
They didn't take you in.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. The
you
child,
took all of them in.
The child took the family in. I have never felt that. I mean, they kind of did treat me like their own child at first, but after 5 years, I never felt that. They kind of treated me like I was a bird to be around in my own house. And that's why I never come out of my room when I am home. Now, am I the a-hole for punting them out? Gonna hit you with a big N-O-P-E. Nope.
Big nope.
Nope. And good job. I hope that you find much more peace.
My boyfriend snuck out on me just to avoid parenting duties.
Oh, because he's still a little boy.
My boyfriend and I have a 3-year-old daughter together. He used to go away very occasionally by himself before we had her, and this has increased quite a lot since she was born. Not for long periods, just a night or two. He also visits his daughter from a previous relationship, which is fine, but I'm mentioning this as it's relevant later. By the way, this comes from additional whereas 6, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. He is notoriously bad for informing me when he is going away. He always claims he told me and I forgot. There have been times where he has arranged to see his daughter on weekends when plans have already been made. These were all pre the vid. Once I had arranged for my mom to babysit for our anniversary and for us to go out. Another time I was meant to be attending a baby shower and needed him to watch our daughter. Another time I had arranged to go to the theater with a friend. His daughter lives quite far away, so he wouldn't have made it back in time to watch our daughter. He was fully aware of all these plans, and he claimed that he forgot when arranging to see his daughter. I didn't ask him to cancel, as it is not fair on her, so I had to make other arrangements in each case. Obviously, he has been going away less because of restrictions. As soon as they eased, he has been going away. I have never had a night away from our daughter. I had made a couple plans, but each time a lockdown happened, so obviously they got canceled. He says he encourages me to go away and that he is not stopping me. I have tried to explain that his going away so much does stop me, as someone needs to look after our child.
Yes, it's like, hello, boy.
Yeah.
Do you not understand? The baby can't take care of itself.
Right. It's not comfortable for either of my parents to watch her yet, just in case of any risk. In the summer, once restrictions are lifted, I have arranged to see my friend for a couple of days. I told him about it, and he said I couldn't do it on that date because he was going on a cycle holiday. I told him that he hasn't told me anything about this, and yet again, he claims that he did, and I just forgot. He asked me to cancel it, saying that I could go to my friends anytime. I could rearrange it, but feel that I shouldn't have to. He could also rearrange camping. So I have been refusing, and he is now in a sulk. Am I the a-hole for not rearranging my plans? And there is a little edit. I had gotten a family calendar when the issues of him double booking seeing his daughter arose. Problem is, he will only write in it if I nag him to do so. Or he will say that he'll do it later and not to treat him like a child. The verdict from the comments is not the a-hole, but I want to hear your answer. A-hole or not?
Definitely not the a-hole. Your partner is a child, and I would immediately start pressuring him like, look, if you can't do this stuff, clearly, like, you don't want to be in our daughter's life as much as you want to be in your other daughter's life.
Exactly.
So if that's the case, let's just go ahead and set up however much money you're going to send me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm going to rearrange my plans, but can you watch the kid? No, I have plans.
Yeah,
Well, so I can't rearrange my plans. You absolute doofus.
So stupid. There are some relevant comments. So, in response to an info request about what the boyfriend is like as a father, OP says he loves our daughter to pieces, but is very much for the fun stuff. He has started helping a bit more. For the last year, he has been helping with part-time and bedtime. Before that, it was just me doing those things. She wakes up regularly in the night. It is always me attending to her, but he says that it's not his fault. He's a heavy sleeper. I have had to wake him before when she has been up from 1 a.m. She wasn't settling back down, and I have work in the morning, so I can get a couple of hours of sleep before work. Small update here. This is 4 months later. Whoa. Okay, big jump.
Now the baby's taking care of itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, now she's old enough. So I had a word with him about the family calendar and people's suggestions about if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Making sure my time away was on there. He seemed to go along with it and said that he would reschedule his cycle trip. Great, I thought. Until it came to the morning of the trip. My boyfriend often gets up super early and I roll over and go back to sleep, so I thought nothing of it when he was up early. I see where this is going. I heard the door go, but just presumed that he was taking out the bins or something. But when I woke up, I couldn't find him and the car had gone. I tried to phone him, but no answer. Some of his stuff had gone. Whoa, I asked my neighbor to check his garage for my boyfriend's bike, where he keeps it, but it had gone. Confused and quietly seething at this point, trying his phone a couple of more times. Nothing. I phoned my friend at this point, saying that I can find him and will probably miss my train. But about midday, I get a phone call. He had gone on his trip. He tells me to check the calendar. He has typed out my writing and written in his trip. I say a few choice words to him. He basically says that it's my fault, as I should have gotten up earlier. So I told him that he won, and he is now free to go on as many cycle trips as he wants now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I bet you now he goes, wait, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What, are you mad? Yeah, doofus, I'm mad.
Yeah.
Of course I'm mad at you.
Like, go ahead. You go on your cycle trips. You just can't see our daughter anymore.
Yep.
Sorry. Friend suggested taking the kids to the seaside because her son is a similar age. We spent the next day at the beach and had a nice time. I told my boyfriend to not come back. He says I'm overreacting, but I am done.
Good for you.
There is another small update, but yeah take him to court.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, okay, I have not had a day off. Like, you've changed all these things. You're basically an absent father, only there for the fun stuff. Like, I'm wondering if, even if she did go on some sort of trip or go to a friend's house or something, would he even be able to take care of this child?
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't trust him.
I doubt it. It doesn't sound like he really is the primary caretaker of any of the kids.
Yeah. And
he's just the fun parent that comes in with the gifts and the whatever for his other daughter.
Just wants to enjoy a cute little baby.
Yeah.
He came back on Sunday. Unfortunately, Can't change the locks due to renting. He came back like nothing had really happened. I calmly asked him to leave as our daughter was about. He said he wasn't going anywhere and he will watch her next week so I could go away. I said I couldn't believe that he has completely missed the point of what he has done. I called my brother and asked him to pick us up. We have been staying there until I can sort out the practical parts of the split. My ex has called nonstop and turned up at my brother's house where my brother turned him away. He has finally apologized. I said that I am still done. I just don't have the energy or the will anymore. There are some relevant comments. In response to an info request about who owns their residence, we rent. Both names are on the lease. I'm hoping that he will do the sensible thing and stay with his friend. Unfortunately, the reality is that I can't punt him out and change the locks. And he is due back on the Sunday. And as we know, he came back on Sunday.
I would certainly not bet on him being reasonable.
Opie says, I'm back at the flat now with my daughter. X is staying with a friend who has a spare room. He is helping out with the rent a bit until I can find somewhere more affordable. For the last 2 weeks, he has turned up on one Saturday. He is giving me child support at the moment, which we are doing directly between us. He seems to think that he is just giving me space, despite the fact that I have told him I am done. My priority for the moment is making sure that my daughter is as settled as possible. It has been very difficult for her not having him about as much as she used to. I'm still at the flat until the lease is up. My ex is still at a friend's as far as I know. He has started seeing someone else, and visits with our daughter have become a little bit sporadic, but it's only been a month and he only sees her once a week anyway, so I will give it a little bit longer. And if it keeps changing, then I think I may have to go to court, but I don't want to stop her from seeing her dad, but also don't want him constantly letting her down. And there is an update.
Well, at least he did the sensible thing of not fighting over the apartment, but it sounds
true.
like,
That's nice.
you know, he's just fun dad times only.
Yeah.
Can't really show up on a day-to-day.
Yeah, exactly. I feel broken. I reconciled with my ex and he blew our holiday fund in a spicy club. Oh my gosh. This is 1 year since the original post. We co-parented together well for a while. Then he started seeing someone and became disinterested in our daughter. Wonder if he's got another one on the way with this new person.
Yeah, this guy's trying to repopulate the earth.
Yeah, it seems like it. Fast forward to 3 months ago, he started to show interest again in seeing our daughter because he was single again. I tried to keep it purely about her, but I gave in. I let myself be sucked in with his crappy promises. I agreed to start dating him again. I will be honest, my heart had broken the last 6 months for my daughter, and if I had a chance to make it work, I felt that I owed it to her. We said that we would go on holiday together, so we started putting some money in a jar kept in my flat.
No.
This weekend, he said that he would take it to book a holiday and put the rest in himself. It was about 300 pounds. I didn't see him after he left the flat, still living separately, so I didn't think anything of it. One of his friend's girlfriends texted me this morning and told me that they had all been on a stag do. Oh, British slang. What even is that?
It's a bachelor party,
Okay.
whatever.
Sounds good.
OP, I'm so upset that you got back with this guy. You
Yeah.
forgot how exhausted you were after those 6 months. I get it.
Poor OP.
You're doing it for your daughter, but like, man,
Yeah,
this is not the arrangement.
exactly. Her boyfriend had mentioned it, and my ex was dropping a lot of money in there. I confronted him, and he admitted to using the holiday money. I just don't know what to do. We are done. Forever done. But I just don't know how I will move past this. And there are some relevant comments.
Well, I'll tell you, the first step is don't get back together with him.
Yeah. There are some relevant comments. Galaxian Warrior says, I can't believe you actually got back together with him. You've been burned time and time again. He only took interest in your daughter after he broke up with the person that he was seeing. He is not a good father to her. That's all you need to know. OP says, I feel like an idiot. He kept saying how irrational it was to leave him in the first place over something so minor. How my stubbornness was affecting our daughter. Ugh. Finally, it came to the realization that I was setting up my daughter for a poor image of how you should be treated. I want to be better for her. I currently am just in contact with his mom, and if he wants to see her, it will be via her, at least for the time being. And there's an update too. Let's just jump right into it.
Let's go.
So this is 2 months since that previous update.
Oh
okay?
boy.
Turns out he's going to be a father again. I literally called it. I literally called it.
Straight up.
Oh my gosh. From what I can gather, the woman is past the 12-week mark. When I was dropping off my daughter for the weekend, he mentioned the pregnancy and whether he could have the baby stuff that I had from when our daughter was little, that we were saving for a potential second. I told him that he's welcome to take anything that he bought, which is the grand total of a novelty baby grow and a hat. Obviously, now I don't need the stuff, and I don't know if I'm being petty, but I told him no, absolutely not. He hasn't even seemed to acknowledge the fact that he got her pregnant when we were trying to get back together. But that's a battle that I just can't get the energy to fight. My ex-mother-in-law has remained pretty neutral, and I have a pretty good relationship with her, but she's been putting a bit of pressure on me to give him the stuff. Am I the a-hole for not even considering passing the baby stuff on to him? Verdict from the comments is not the a-hole, and that's my answer too.
Yeah.
Not the a-hole.
1,000%.
Yeah, we were trying to get back together. So either you cheated on her with me, or you cheated on me with her. Either way, F you.
Just an absolute buffoon
Yeah.
of a man.
There are some relevant comments. Nico09 says, not the a-hole, don't do it. He absolutely does not deserve it. Did you even ever get the 300 back that he stole? Opie says, no. If I'm honest, I didn't really talk to him after that. Anything to do with our daughter goes via his mom. I want to try and maintain my composure for my daughter. I couldn't cope with this bull crap excuses anymore. He doesn't seem to think that he owes me anything. And update number 3, we're going to jump right into it. This is 10 months now since this last update. If we're keeping track, the baby is now 5. My ex had a baby boy. Finally, he finally got the son that he wanted. Can you imagine? That's why
what
he's
it
doing
was?
it. Ah,
Maybe that was what it was. Is
He's
that what
just
Opie's saying?
trying again. He's like, you
Oh,
can't.
no.
It's like King Henry with all his wives. He's like, you can't give me a son. So gone with you. We'll try the next one, and then no one can give him a son until like
guillotine
the last one.
next.
Yeah, exactly. I ended up giving him the very few items that he bought for our daughter, which mainly consisted of novelty hats and novelty baby grows. Still unsure what that is. But what I am sure of is the fact that you can go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one.
And you better believe it.
Better believe it. Yeah, there is a little bit more to the story. I think our thoughts are the same.
They're the same as they've been all of this whole time.
So let's just wrap this thing up.
You are worth more than this pathetic man.
Yep. Unfortunately, he has little to do with our daughter. He has let her down many times since the new baby came. I won't close the door as I want to be able to hold my head high and tell her I never stopped him seeing her, even though a big part of me wants to tell him to do one. British slang. It breaks my heart that she gets so excited and he lets her down. I have toyed with going to court and make him fight for visitation. I just don't think that he cares enough. On a positive note, my daughter is very happy and my brother and his wife are very involved so she can see what a healthy relationship looks like.
That is good.
That
But
is good.
I do say definitely do the visitation stuff. If he's constantly letting your daughter down.
I'm uninterested in meeting anyone at the moment, but maybe one day I'll dip my foot back in. I also got a promotion at work, so I'm in a much happier place now. And that is the end of that story. But yeah, I agree. It's like, I think your daughter, especially once she grows up, I think she will be more disappointed from the fact that her father is so unpredictable like this than in the fact of like you potentially protecting her from that. I think you should definitely stop him, and I don't think she'll care that you just like, let him try again.
Well, if you go through like the courts and create a visitation process and then he doesn't show up to that, there's no way he can ever try to spin like, oh, well, I was being, it's like, no, you just did not show up.
Yeah.
No one was keeping you from doing this. There was a whole arrangement we had and you refused to show up.
Exactly.
And so and then he can be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
I want to ban my bridesmaid because of her jealousy.
Maidzilla!
I, 27 female, am getting married this summer to the love of my life, 28 male, Andrew. Andrew and I met 2 years ago online. I had only been on my dating app for 1 to 2 months. We had gone on a few dates and instantly clicked. We've been together ever since. By the way, this comes from HoneyG19, the r/2HotTake subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Andrew and I have been through a lot over the last year. In April of 2024, my mother got diagnosed with a progressive stage of ovarian cancer, where she needed to get a huge surgery removing 2 pounds of tumor that spread, then had to quickly decide on what treatment plan after she was somewhat recovered. Shortly after her diagnosis, Andrew's grandparents were placed into hospice, needing extra daily home care. Sadly, his grandfather had just recently passed away from organ failure, and it has been extremely hard on us, including his entire family. Through the mix of all of my mother's health issues and his grandparents, in September 2024, Andrew had booked us a 4-day trip and proposed, which I happily said yes to. We both knew that if we were able to get through all of the challenges we were facing, we could get through anything together. And there were no doubts we had about wanting to spend our lives with one another. Fast forward to the start of my wedding planning. Personally, I did not want to wait a long time to get married. In the back of my mind, I had this huge fear of losing her before we got married. Most days she couldn't get out of bed, and I didn't know where we would be years ahead. So Andrew and I chose a venue and a date very quickly. By the time we would get married, we would have been engaged for 11 months. I quickly started to plan fast, and by the time we reserved everything, Andrew and I had booked the important things within 3 months of our engagement. Soon after that, I started picking out my bridal party and even spent the time to make cute bridesmaid proposal boxes. I had chosen my sister as my matron of honor, and my bridesmaids, my future sister-in-law, and my 3 best friends, Cecilia, Felicity, and Rachel. Whenever Andrew and I got engaged, our family and friends were over the moon, and you could tell how excited and supportive everyone was for us. Except for Felicity. Backstory on Felicity, 29 female. Felicity and I have been friends for about 3 years. We both have a love for the city and adventure, so there were plenty of times that we would plan things out spontaneously. Throughout the years I've known her, she has always been a bright and free-spirited kind of person. We grew close pretty quickly, even treated each other as sisters. The more I got to know her, I started to see that she had been somewhat involved with a man back and forth. He worked in his family business and came from family money. Felicity actually spent a lot of her time with him, going to expensive restaurants. Felicity is known to have an extensive taste. Going out with her can be a little difficult as she would always want to go to expensive bars. Money for me has always been somewhat tight. I had about 2 other jobs on top of my main full-time job, babysitting and dog sitting. Around this time, I was a single Pringle, but over time, I would find Felicity changing plans on me if something better came along.
Opportunist. Opportunist. Gotta keep an eye on that.
You're gonna follow
She's a very opportunist mindset. So when it comes to guys, this guy makes more money than this one.
I'm just gonna go over here now.
Yeah, so that even with plants.
Like the guy she was involved with whenever he was in our city, or her inviting herself to his house for the weekend. Eventually, I started noticing that she was low-key stalking him, as he never seemed to put her first. I know the result of his behavior does not excuse stalking, but it was getting frustrating seeing my friend not being treated first by someone who couldn't commit. This would start a lot of conversations with her about how important self-worth is and how she deserved better. These conversations eventually ended as it was getting extremely redundant, and I found people change if they truly want to. So I would let it go. Around the time I met Andrew, I was personally longing to get back into my faith and started going back to church regularly. I used to be very devout in my Catholic upbringing and personally felt like I needed a positive outlook in life again. So whenever I met Andrew, we started going to church together more and spending more time with each other. I know it is not common in today's society, but Andrew and I are waiting to have spicy sleep until we are married.
Let's go. I'm a huge supporter of that.
This is something that Andrew and I chose to do together as we were only looking for a seriously committed relationship and our life partner. Felicity always seemed to judge this feature in our relationship. We were really close, but when it came to my personal relationship, she always wanted to know his size, if he was a good kisser, and if we had gone further.
Also, who you surround yourself with is like a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
And then this person doesn't seem like your brand.
No, not at all. I want to know the backstory of where you found Felicity, not Andrew.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, how did that work out?
I was normally not the kind of person to share those personal details of any partner I had, so I found it weird that she kept asking and laughing about it when she would ask. Also, whenever all of us would hang out, she would talk more to Andrew rather than me, and always seemed to just want to hang out with the two of us, not just me or her. Fast forward to when I asked her to be a bridesmaid. Whenever Andrew and I got back from our trip, I noticed she did not seem excited for me at all. She would keep saying, "I'm really excited for you. I'm just really busy." I sort of overlooked this because I thought she may have been going through something at the time. Whenever I asked her to be my bridesmaid, the look on her face was not pleased. She had mentioned that her sister, who just got married, really put her through the ringer with in her finances. Whenever Felicity was the maid of honor for her sister's wedding, her sister made her buy all of the bridesmaid presents, a yacht to rent for the bachelorette trip, and a lot more. Her and her sister didn't fall too far from the tree, though. They both have expensive tastes and are very particular. I am not like the typical bride who expects everyone to spend more than $500+ for a wedding day. I was already planning to make it really easy for my bridal party, like making it optional for getting the hair and makeup done, finding inexpensive dresses, and even not really caring if I had a bachelorette party. So whenever I shared with Felicity that she is one of my closest friends and explained why I wanted her to be a bridesmaid, she didn't look ecstatic, but said she would do it.
Dude, what?
Yeah, I guess I'll come to your wedding.
Carly, you just won $1 million.
That's cool, I guess.
Dude, what? This is not your friend.
Yeah.
Okay, from what I've seen,
yeah,
you're a backup friend. Anytime she doesn't have something else going on in her life, she's going to hit you up. Hey, let's go to town. Hey, let's go to the bars.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. Have you ever looked at where you go and how she acts? If you're going to the bars, is she like trying to like talk to guys or not really like
you're just
talking
there to be there?
Yeah, she's using you. And then in this case, you're like advancing in life and
Yeah.
she's still in another lane. She's like,
backup friends do not get to be bridesmaids.
friends get excited whenever you ask them to be bridesmaids. Oh my gosh.
Soon after that, I started noticing Felicity's behavior change. Whenever we would go on our walks together, she would make comments like, "It's tradition that the bride pays for the hair and makeup," or "Whenever I'm a bridesmaid, I like to know who they're marrying and be close with them," and so on. I would also reach out in a group text to the girls and plan on when to go dress shopping, bridal showers, and such. Felicity seemed to not want to be a part of any of it and only made an appearance at our bridesmaid fitting. I noticed this behavior more and more, so whenever I asked her about her thoughts on being a bridesmaid, she started saying how she was indifferent with it all. She mentioned that she was still unsure only because she couldn't support being at a bridal party if she wasn't super close with the groom or know him enough. This really took me back because the whole point of being a bridesmaid is to show support for the bride and show that you, as a close circle, are going to walk the bride through this new journey in her life.
That ain't your friend.
That's not your friend at all.
Felicity, Delicity, Convixily. That ain't your friend.
This sparked a whole conversation with her about how our friendship seemed different. I know she was telling me how she missed how things were and that we needed to hang out more, but in all honesty, our friendship definitely took a shift due to lack of support and understanding. The person I knew would be supportive and not be catty about everything. I also felt like she didn't understand the amount of pressure I have been under and the lack of social life I have due to our family troubles. I ended up telling her again that I will try to make more time, but it is limited just because I have no idea how my mom will be feeling and so on. We ended on a good note, but I was still getting a huge feeling that she was not convinced. As more of the planning went on, our family started planning for my bridal showers, and close friends started planning for bachelorette parties. Felicity didn't want to be a part of any of it. Anything mentioning something that was about me, she would rudely respond in the group message and make everything awkward.
She's so jealous.
Why is she still in your bridal party?
What?
Get rid of her.
Carly been preaching this all day. Where's the line in the sand? Where's it
Where
at?
is it? We need to find it.
We need to find it. Oh my gosh.
She even had the nerve to be extremely rude to my sister-in-law when she asked for help to set up one of my bridal showers. Fast forward to most recent. I just had my bridal shower and I was expecting her to be there. Shocker, she wasn't. I had messaged her that night asking if she was able to get her dress yet and quickly found out she didn't even purchase her dress. When I read this over my phone, I immediately saw red and sadness. This response just proved to me that she never wanted to support me through any of it and that our friendship was completely over. Every time I would have an opportunity to have free time, she always responded along the lines of, I don't have the time to commit to anything scheduled right now as it has to be more in spontaneity. At this point, I was very close to just having her not be in the wedding at all. That would be a great idea. I had realized in that moment that she was going to have a huge attitude the whole day of the wedding, even if she showed up. If she even showed up. Honestly, after how wrong she has treated me, I don't even have the energy anymore to make sure she's going to be pleased. Also, you shouldn't. It's your wedding.
It's your wedding. You should be the one that needs to be pleased.
Yeah.
Not her. Felicity, all this complicity needs to be some basic licity.
Uh-oh.
OP and 5.
That was good.
That's a basketball term thing. They'll do like OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5.
What's in 5?
Like they play to 7.
Okay.
Best
okay.
4 out of 7. So they'll be like Lakers in 5. So they'll win in 5 games. Yeah. Keon and Dakota would understand.
I thought you were doing a theater reference, I'm not going to lie. Thank
nope.
you, 5.
Nope, sorry.
After thinking it over, I gave her an option to just be a wedding guest instead, as she may have more trouble getting her dress in time and completing alterations. I gave Felicity the option in case time and money were too hard for her right now and said it's okay if she decided to do that. She responded back somewhat annoyed, saying that she was busy and would message me the next day. She hasn't attempted to reach out even after I asked her before I went to bed to call me when she gets 5 minutes. I am seriously debating punting her out by the end of the week if she doesn't respond to me and fear that she is going to ghost me completely. This whole situation around my engagement has been extremely upsetting to me, and I am heartbroken that she will not give me the courtesy to be an adult and back out herself. My bridal party is also fed up and thinks I should rip the band-aid off that she is not in the bridal party. They also think it is ridiculous how she has treated me from the beginning and are saying I am better off. I could really use some advice on this. Please help. And we have an update.
Girl, I feel like a lot of people who are confronted with making a decision, whatever the hardest thing to do, most likely the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, she's taking herself out of it already. We don't need her here. She's done nothing to help this.
Yeah. You just gotta send a text. Hey, I just don't think it's best for you to be in the wedding.
Yeah.
Boom.
She's probably not even going to answer.
Probably won't.
We have an update. I wanted to thank everyone who all had the time to comment on my original post. After she had ignored me for about 6 days, I had officially cut her out of the bridal party. I had a feeling she would not have answered my phone calls, so I only gave her the news through text. I said something on the lines of this. I know you've been incredibly busy with work/family stuff, but with this being crunch time, I really need to be organized and can't have things fall through. So I've decided to make some changes to the bridal party. Overall, it seems like you haven't had time to fully enjoy or participate in the bridal party's events, so I'm just going to take this off your plate. I would still love for you to be a part of the wedding in a way that is less demanding. If you are unable to make it, I understand. Although it is a huge relief that I took the initiative to cut her out, I'm still very sad that this was how I ended a 4-year friendship. I'm somewhat grieving still over the relationship we used to have, but I realize now what has been gone for a while and the damage has been done. I know now that it will never be how it used to. Her response of, "That works for me," was closure enough to me. Wow. I still hate that it had to come to this, but I know this will be able to help me enjoy my day even more now that she's out. I don't see myself continuing our friendship either, which is probably for the better. By the way, you can continue your friendship with us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. We have another update. Do you have any
Girl.
thoughts?
Like I said, you just gotta send that text out. I think no matter what her reaction is,
Well, we
it's
got
not,
the reaction.
Oh, well, no matter what it is, it's not your fault.
Yes.
It's hers. She decided not to show up to any of this thing. She decided not to be happy and decided to be jealous. So please don't put that on you with whatever you do. I understand you can be sad, but this part's not on you.
Yeah. Her saying that works for me, that's the end of it.
There we go.
That's where you stop.
There we go.
I do want to end this post on a happy note. I was able to ask my fiance's best man's wife, Lindsay. Andrew's best man happens to be his cousin, and we are all very close as we have had frequent double dates together. Lindsay's extremely awesome, and before this all went down, she even volunteered to take charge in my planning/hosting my bachelorette with my close friends and bridal party. I'm extremely happy that I decided to listen to my gut and do what was best to enjoy my wedding. Again, thank you all for reassuring me that I was not crazy and right to pump Felicity out. I'm extremely excited to have no stresses on my wedding day and can't wait to call Andrew my husband in a few months. And that's the end of that story.